All right, it's
Nice.
good now. We're good.
Alrighty.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, we're here.
Here we go. Yes.
Here we go. Yes.
Welcome to part 3 of JoJo's with special guest star Ezra,
Yay.
Hey, what's up?
Whoa.
our first ever guest.
Yes.
Yes.
This is pretty cool.
It's
It is
Pretty
indeed.
cool.
pretty epic. Yes. And we are here. We are here for more Joe.
More
That's
Joe.
right. It's time.
Joe's of Joe's.
It's time for the Stardust Crusaders. We read chapters
What?
1 through 46 of it, and that's episodes 1 through 15. 1 through 15 of Stardust Crusaders. That's correct.
That is correct. Good job, Mike.
Yes. Yes.
I'm
Can do the
clapping in
math.
my mind right now.
Ezra, since you're just now joining us, why don't you tell us what your history with the Joe franchise is, since we did that at the part one.
Okay.
Do it.
Well, actually, JoJo has been like a long endeavor for me because I've been trying to watch it for the past 4 years.
Hmm.
So I started like it was randomly. I remember I don't know what year this was, but it was season 2 of My Hero Academia. I was waiting for a new episode to show up, but it wasn't on yet. So I just said, okay, I'll Start JoJo because I like the memes and stuff, and my friends watch it. I was really into it, but I just kept like every time I'd watch an episode, I was like, okay, that was good, and then I just leave it. And this is like to Phantom Blood. That was until then I watched Phantom Blood over the course of those 3 years, and then just like decided one day it was during the quarantine for because of the COVID, you know. I'm just like, oh, let's pick this up again, and it was the last episode of Phantom Blood because it's the one where they're in the ship and it catches on fire and Jonathan dies.
Spoilers after we had already
God.
covered it, but dang it, spoilers. Wow.
Wait, Jonathan
Okay, the
died?
third part. Yeah, I know. It's weird.
I could have
he was
sworn he
dead
was still alive in this section. You know.
You didn't
is
find the imposter
thriving.
in time.
No. Yeah. But then Joseph kind of came in and Joseph was like, I'm an asshole. And I'm like, I love assholes. And I followed him.
Nice.
And then now we're here. I just kept along with the series and it got me hooked. And now I'm here with you guys.
Yes.
I also
Who
love
doesn't-
assholes, I would like to say. I just like to
Who
point
doesn't
that
love a
out.
good asshole?
I
Yeah.
also think that another thing that kept me going this time was, in fact, Mike. Because I think kind of like going and being like, giving him my reaction was better than like having no one to listen to me. So yeah, that was nice. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, that was fun.
It's always nice when you
Mm.
have a friend to talk about it with.
Always.
Otherwise, it's just boring.
That's what's great about Discord, because now I have more friends than ever.
Wow, I never had any friends to begin with.
Wow.
Just kidding. That was
Oh.
Chat.
yeah. So, how about we just get started? I guess.
Yeah,
Alright.
because we start out with the introduction of our newest Joe. It's Jotaro,
Taro.
and what an asshole, am I right?
I know,
Yes.
he's in jail and everything.
Yes.
He definitely did something to get there. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a solid little introduction for Jotaro, because it's a bit off compared to like what he's later on, like, because he's way more like aggressive and vocal. He's like calling his mom a bitch and stuff, where later if he's annoyed with somebody he'll just kind of like not say a thing or just say yara yara his thing.
Yeah.
Or, I think what's actually funny about the scene is, even in the first page, you see him as like a kid, like, pass the bottom of mommy, Jotaro, and then you get him as like a good student and stuff, and the next thing you know, he's in calling his mom a bitch, drinking beer, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, what a wacky. And it's kind of like framing it like this is just like a sudden one day thing, but then you see like how he talks to like the kids at his school and shit, and it's like, okay, Holly, you kind of got to get a grasp on this.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a bit of a space case, needs to come back to reality and realize her son's just a little bit of a dick.
Yeah. She's just
Honestly.
like, oh, he's just going through a phase. He's fine.
It's not a
Yeah.
phase, Mom.
Got a ghost, evil spirit.
I'm possessed by an evil demon, Mom.
Well, you could
you
say
just don't get it.
he does have a ghost phasing through him, so that would be technically accurate.
That's just Danny Phantom having some fun.
Yes, definitely. Danny Phantom
He's
didn't
a
exist
brick
when this
wall.
was created, so you're wrong. I'm
Eh.
sorry.
Speaking of phasing, this is the part where they start phasing out the nickname Jojo.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, they start like kind of using it over the course of I think how much we've read. They kind of use Jojo and Jotaro like back and
Interchangeably.
forth.
Well, I think
Yeah.
Joseph specifically calls him Jotaro, and like almost everybody else calls him Jojo, I think.
I think the only one who calls him Jojo actually are Kakyoin and Abdul.
I think
Polnareff
Polnareff
calls
said
him
it too.
Jotaro.
Does he?
Does he? I think he calls him Jotaro.
I don't. I
No,
don't know,
the little
but
girl calls him Jotaro.
yeah. So it's a mixed bag, but it's definitely like
Wait,
getting
what-
phased out.
what's the little girl's name? It was literally never explained.
Yeah, she doesn't have a name in the manga.
Okay, well
The
she
anime
calls him
she's called
Jojo.
Anne.
Yeah, she calls.
Oh.
Her name's Anne.
Yeah, she calls him Jojo.
Is she?
Yes.
Yeah, I think she calls.
At
she
least
does
like
call him
after
Jojo.
like she becomes more familiar with him and like, has a weird crush on him.
Oh yeah, you're right. I'm reading it now. You're right.
Yes.
After he saves her from
the
Monkey.
stuff, the monkey.
Monkey.
Yes.
Well, we'll get there when we get there.
Monkey.
So much fun. Yeah, I'm so excited. Yeah.
So yeah,
I wonder why Araki started phasing out the nickname. Maybe he just like didn't think it would fit a cool guy like him, or maybe it was some sort of editor or publisher meddling.
I think it got too confusing.
Yeah, there is two
Probably.
JoJos in this part.
Yeah. In the next part, you have 3, so we'll spoil it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
It's okay. We all know.
Dylan's seen some of part 4 already. I showed him.
Okay, cool.
He's seen what happens to that one dog.
Oh,
That one
God.
dog, yeah. Oh, get ready, dogs, because this is gonna be fun. Yay!
Well, there's only one in this section we read, so it's good. It's good. We're good.
Oh, you sweet summer child, you.
We're good. So yeah, Jotaro's just like, fuck you, mom, and he's in prison. Nice. Good stuff.
It's not a phase. I'm staying here.
Yep. The guards are like, "Can you leave already? We brought your mom to get you out."
We brought your
It's like-
mommy.
And then like Jotaro, he has like the stack of junk, and all his prison guards, like not guards, but his prison mates.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they're all like terrified of him because it has actually. I mentioned it when we were first reading. There's this really interesting like two panels where one of them, that's the prisoners, are like reaching for Holly, like, "Oh, come here, lady, come here," and they look like creepy, like they want to do bad things to her. And then in the next panel, you see like they're in fear, like, "No, we gotta get out of here. This guy's nuts. He's got this thing going on."
You think they're gonna do something only monkeys would do?
Yeah, but then that's kind of like clever for Araki being like using our expectations like that. Subversion.
They look really hot and bothered.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what I mean.
Well, they're right next to Jotaro. Can you blame them?
I know that giant rectangle 17-year-old.
Yes.
And yeah, we also see that.
Yeah. Go.
Oh, that Jotaro, he has this pile of junk. He has like manga,
Jump.
radio.
Shonen Jump.
Yeah, and he has a beer which he drinks in the weirdest way possible. Like he breaks open the bottom of the can and starts like sucking at it.
It's called a shotgun.
Hamster.
It's like he's shotgunning it, but like in a weird way. Like he pokes out the bottom and drinks it like it's from a water fountain.
Yeah, like he's a hamster or something.
It's good. It's good.
My funny little hamsterman.
I have a little. So a minute ago we were talking about how like Holly was like maybe she doesn't like really hasn't come to grips with like what's going on with Jotaro. I actually just like noticed this one line. She like immediately when she's talking to the police officers, she immediately like jumps to like how many people has he killed. So like she expects that he like killed people. So that's a little weird. I feel.
I mean, when your kid goes to jail, that's the only thing you could expect them to be doing.
Holly's ride or die, and die she will.
Is this foreshadowing or joking? I don't know. I guess I'll find out.
I wish.
Yeah. So yeah,
What do you mean I
Jotaro's.
wish? You mean I wish she dies?
No, you wish
I
it
don't
was
know.
foreshadowing.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
Oh, is that so?
Oh.
Does that mean that
Ooh.
she does die?
You'll have to say and find out.
I can't believe this. I've just been spoiled. I know
Or
everything
have
now.
you?
I don't know.
Oh.
Honestly, I don't even know.
Speaking of dying, we finally figure out like what's up with Jotaro. He says he has an evil spirit. You know, the evil that brings you stuff that you want.
There's an evil purple in me.
The evil that protects you from street thugs.
Yeah,
And then you just lock yourself in jail. Yeah.
And bullets too. Jotaro steals a gun and shoots himself in the head, but the evil spirit catches it. What? Whoa.
So mean. Doesn't want him to die. It's so mean.
I think I know what's going on. He must have watched too much anime and was possessed by the devil. That's what happened.
He was possessed by the spirit of anime.
Yes. Because we all know that's what anime does to young kids
Mm,
and adolescents.
yeah.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I have friends who've killed themselves due to anime because of this. Because Satan was so strong. It's crazy, right?
They
Right?
they wanted to meet SpongeBob and go to Bikini Bottom.
That's true. They did go to Bikini Bottom. It's not a lie.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of going to the bottom of the ocean, the end of the chapter is some people bringing up a treasure chest from the bottom of the ocean, but it's not a treasure chest. It's Dio's coffin.
Why would you spoil that? I didn't know that. I didn't know it was Dio. I did.
Foolish fool.
I didn't know.
Okay.
Coffin has his name on it.
Yeah.
It does, yeah. It's so good.
And the Canary Islands of all places.
Yeah.
What's cool is it doesn't actually show the name until the start of the next chapter. So the end of this chapter, you just see the coffin, and like it gets you thinking really. So like I can imagine like just if I went into this not knowing anything, it would have been so fucking awesome. That would have been like the coolest to like be like it's Dio. He's back. He's back.
He's back, my baby boy. Yeah.
He's
Dio's
finally back.
Yeah.
He went to get cigarettes and he's finally returned.
After 100 years. After 100 years, I'm free. It's time to conquer Earth.
CBR, eat your heart out.
Abdul, we need to gather 3 teenagers and 1 dog with attitude. Go Crusaders.
They got this.
Yeah, they got this. They got the power that I forget the lyrics to that. And yes, we're back with back in Japan. Joseph arrives in his old man design, altered a bit from like 2 weeks
Part
prior when the last chapter of Battle Tendency came out.
Skill form.
In the anime, it's still different too, and they even have a different voice, I think.
Oh my god!
Oh.
Can't believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So apparently Holly is like she's like 45 or whatever, and she's like acting like a child. It's interesting.
I was gonna say
like-
she seemed a bit more put together in the manga compared to the
Is
the
she
anime.
really?
Oh
feel-
yeah, the anime. She's nuts in the anime.
It feels
my
like
God.
it. Like her facial expressions seem more like downplayed. Maybe it's the voice acting too. Like
Yeah.
in the anime, you really hear how just kind of. I don't want to say unhinged, but unhinged.
She kind of has like an ahoge voice, you know, like, "Oh, Papa, I love you so much."
Oh my god.
Both Japanese and English, it's like that.
Yeah.
I want to watch this anime
Hi.
now. I'm just kidding.
Why do you think Kakyoin wants her so bad?
Oh, we'll get there in a sec. Yeah.
He's into MILF?
So yeah. So
That's a big meme. MILF Hunter Kakyoin.
Nice.
I prefer gamer Kakyoin, which is canon.
Well, they're not mutually exclusive. I'll have you know.
Yeah, he can be both.
The gamer energy and the Milk Hunter energy, it's like cyclical. It's like an infinite energy machine.
Resident Evil 8.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
Ollie starts to tickle Joseph, which is really weird because we find out that Joseph's really ticklish, which again is kind of a cute quirk if it wasn't for his daughter being, Papa, I'm gonna tickle you, I'm gonna tickle you, I'm gonna tickle you.
And then he goes, "Oh!" in the middle of
He
the
starts
airport.
like screaming, and then everyone's looking at me. He's like, "Stop looking at me!"
This ain't a shelf.
I'm just being tickled by my adult daughter. There's nothing weird going on here.
After I just
Stop.
beat up some random guy.
Oh yeah, he beat up a random Japanese guy in the last
Yeah,
airport.
they says I'll never forgive the Japanese in the middle of a Japanese airport. So people are gonna not be uncomfortable about you.
Yeah. And then he starts roaring because he's tickled.
Yeah.
Oh, and he's not alone. We get he brought somebody with him. He heads to the jail. Jojo's got more shit with him now. Including an exercise bike.
Yeah, he's got that. He's got an electric guitar. He's got a bunch of books. He's got a computer.
That's good. Wait, he has a computer? I didn't see. Oh.
Yeah, he's got like a little laptop.
He's got a gaming PC.
Oh my god. He's playing Minecraft.
He's got a little tiny car too, which I don't know how he's gonna use that in the tiny cell.
Well, it's a tiny car for a tiny cell.
Good question.
I remember he's playing with it in the anime. That's fun.
Yeah.
Jotaro enjoys tiny car.
He's got like a little gaming chair too, but he doesn't have a desk for his computer.
She has a sweet ass guitar.
Oh yeah.
He's probably ripping it up in there.
They even bought like a wall clock. That's so funny. Unless that was already in there. I don't know.
Perhaps. Star Platinum just stole my boy a pair of socks. His pants are like riding so high on his like shins.
I mean, this prison must have been just like right next to like a Walmart or something, because where else was he gonna get all this stuff?
Yeah.
Who knows? Honestly,
There might have been like a Dick's Sporting Good or something, or whatever the Japanese equivalent of that is.
Chin Chins.
Oh yeah, you're right, and a bookstore.
oh my god.
There's like libraries everywhere in the 80s, so I would not be surprised.
I mean, they don't got internet. What are they gonna do?
Wow. How is he gonna play his games on his PC?
Yeah.
You have to jack off to like literature.
Maybe.
Wood carvings stored in like a little cellar.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's nice.
Stone tablets.
Speaking of wood carvings in a little cellar, Joseph arrives.
He's there.
Isn't that a good transition, guys?
Honestly, it was. You're the master, Michael.
Yes. Yes.
You get this really cool panel of Joseph and Jotaro staring each other down, but it's funny because they edited out the full bar door, so it kind of looks like he had this little like chicken coop door.
Yeah.
In there. He's like, "Here, Jotaro, I opened it. You'll have to step over it now."
This'll keep you locked in there, right?
Honestly, for a guy who's like locked himself in there, it's effective.
Yeah. Yeah, but Jotaro's being a little piss baby. So Joseph calls upon his little friend Avdol, my dude. This is such a cool introduction for him. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
Avdol,
what do you think?
Cool.
Jotaro pulls the ultimate prank of stealing his prosthetic finger.
And then he gives him the finger.
Like you do.
And
yeah, of course, Avdol shows up.
Avdol is great. He's got a great design, and I love the design of Magician's Red too.
I do.
It's birds.
Yeah, Stan's drifted very quickly into mainly being like Robot Man designs, and anything that's not that kind of like started from that template and then just went around it. But like he at the start of part 3, for most of part 3, Stans didn't really have that kind of template, so we got a lot of crazy shit.
Yeah, there's a huge variety.
Yeah, there's just, like, we don't get many animal-looking ones, let alone organic ones in general after part 3. So I really like Magician's Red.
So you get Buff Bird, Horse Man.
Big Bird's older brother, Bigger Bird.
He's got the
Nice.
fire.
Got the power.
Anyway, so it's funny because when you think about how Rocky puts his thoughts into the tarot card stands, a lot of them are either the upright versions or the reversed versions of themselves. So
Mm.
Magician's Red is an upright of the Magician card, which stands for manifestation, resourcefulness, power, and inspired action, which you can see here when he goes and steps up to fight Jotaro.
It's also the first of the tarot cards, right? Like number 1 of the deck.
No, it's the number 1, but it's not the first. Number 0 is the first, and that's the Fool.
Well, it's still not. It's still technically number 1, and it's the first stand we see in the series, fully.
Yeah, true.
That's pretty neat. Yeah.
Mhm.
We got a lot of standard exposition about stands going on in this fight, but it's like it's mixed into the fight well, and the fight itself also tells us a lot because we know normal people can't see stands. The cops there can't see them, but they're still being like affected by the heat of the heat in the room is rising because of the fire, and they're feeling it. And how holding or hitting a stand does the same to the user.
Yeah.
We learn a lot. And we also learn that they're called stands because they stand next to you like a buddy.
My reaction to that was just priceless. Oh my god.
Mine too.
I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's why they're called stands?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a letdown when you've heard about them but not actually read the series.
Yeah.
I just
You
think
think
it's
you
funny.
want this complex explanation, but instead you just get just because it stands next to you.
Honestly, I didn't
Okay.
expect any explanation. I just thought they were just going to be called stands because it felt like it.
like how Bleach names stuff.
Kinda, yeah.
Just names stuff because it sounds kind of cool.
Yeah, basically.
This is my final move, Moon Fang piercing the heaven. Why is it called that?
I was looking for something cool, and you know how it goes.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So they're throwing down Avdol versus Jotaro. There's kind of like an early attempt at connecting Hamon to stands in some way by having Star Platinum retreat when Jotaro's breathing is kind of cut off by Red Bind.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice that. That's interesting.
It's like stands started out in concept as like connected to Hamon as being like some sort of quote unquote ghostly ripple. But eventually it was not that.
Like the next step up.
Yeah.
Now you can easily just say that what's happening isn't Hamon, but it's he's just losing oxygen because it's burning in the fire.
Yeah, you can just say like, oh yeah, he can't think straight because he can't breathe right, so his mental energy decreases and goes away.
Yeah, so Star Platinum gets kind of weakened.
That makes sense.
I forgot to mention earlier that you probably knew this, but Muhammad Abdul is named after Paula Abdul, who was a singer and was one of the original judges on American Idol.
I remember her.
That's how I remember her.
Yeah, same.
I don't really know any of her songs, but I know that.
Me neither.
I don't know anything ever.
Did you notice?
I believe that.
Did you notice that the translation rewind kind of went back and forth between calling him Avdol and Abdul?
I did notice
Yeah.
that.
Abdul is the regular name. Avdol is the official translation, so they're not sued.
Yeah, you get that a lot here. And part three probably does it the best out of the changing the names for a translation, because at least most of them, not in this case, but like take for example when we meet Jay Guile, in the translation he's called Centerfold because that's a song by the Jay Guile band. Or later Midler is named Rose because that's a Bette Midler song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think at least they tried, as opposed to in like later parts where they name stuff like Green Day Green Tea.
What are you?
That-
Are you saying you're not a fan? My good friend Ezra, my non-binary gonna kick you in the hiney. My good friend. Are you saying you don't enjoy changing Aerosmith to Lil Bomber?
No! Why would you change Oasis to Sanctuary? Oasis is not a licensed word. Hell, the crossover between Boulevard and Broken Dream and Wonderwall didn't even come out by the time that chapter was written. It just doesn't make any sense to me.
You're not even mentioning that I called you non-binary gonna kick you in the hiney.
You know what?
I appreciate it, and I'm probably gonna use it myself now. But
Good.
no, you got me on my Oasis Sanctuary tangent. I don't usually get to talk about it. Yeah.
You know,
That's funny. I've never heard that. What's
I
that?
think
Yeah.
I agree with both of you. Okay,
Good.
that's all I have to say.
I think you're both right. Because
Yeah.
you're both
Thanks,
so handsome.
There you go.
Honestly,
Good
yeah.
job.
Yeah. Yeah.
Brownie
And
points.
the fight ends with Jotaro just kind of forgetting that he wanted to stay in the cell and walking out to beat the shit out of Avdol.
Yeah, he's like,
he
you
gets-
made me stop breathing. I'm gonna make you stop breathing now.
Yeah. But then Avdol's like, he's out of the cell. I did it.
Jojo
Victory.
doesn't think to like take 2 steps back and be like, no, let's go again. Let's go again.
Take back.
I'm back in the cell.
Back in I go. Yeah. And we learn why Jotaro's stand had awakened. It turns out it's a psychic link between him and Joseph and Dio. Dio is back, and he's
Oh, no,
stolen
Dio,
Jonathan's body.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
That's like he said
Just-
he would.
Just took the body. He's just like, mine now.
Yeah.
He's good.
I'm jacking your ride.
Man, it's almost like Araki planned this.
Yeah. It was originally supposed to go from Phantom Blood to Stardust Crusaders, but Araki wanted something like in between to really like have the return of Dio be more hype.
Uh-huh.
Half naked Aztec gods.
Yes.
We love Aztec gods.
But
Speaking
you know
of
what
part-
actually kind of annoys me about this scene where they announce this with Dio?
What?
Okay, so this coffee shop they're at, it has a name, but we can't see what half of it is because, hey, Jojo is on the way. It's like Gene for Cafe and Cafe.
Ooh.
That's what
Cafe.
this,
What?
yeah, Cafe and Cafe. I
Probably
wouldn't know what
clear in the
Gene
anime.
Fours is.
Damn
Probably clearer in the
Japanese.
anime.
Oh, well, I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah,
very
I wanted
important.
to mention that there's a cool color spread, or not, just a kind of a spread, title page spread that shows the full like the Joestar family line, and even like redraws some stuff from the end of Phantom Blood with like Jotaro in the foreground. It's really cool. It's nice to see.
It
It's
is
a little,
cool.
little recap. It's fun.
Holly's hair is different,
Yeah,
shorter.
it is
That's
short.
wacky.
She looks strange. Almost
That's
No,
wacky.
Holly is drawn different in like every other chapter, but so it's a good thing she's not in this that much.
Yeah.
Araki just did not know how would like settle on a design for her.
How do I draw Whammon?
Diamond.
There's
I'm
not a
too
lot of
busy drawing rectangular men.
She's even like drawn differently on this same double page spread. What the hell?
Yeah,
You're right.
yeah.
Ain't
The
that
things you
wacky.
notice when you reread it.
There's not a lot of Whammon in part 3, but more than part 5.
Honestly, yeah. You just get one in part 5.
It's so true.
It's better like that, am I right?
Unironically, yeah.
Funny.
Ow.
There's enough girly men to balance it out. Anyway, yeah, we're in the coffee shop.
And
Hanging
we've learned
out.
about Joseph Stan Hermit Purple,
Yeah.
It's
which,
very
like
strong.
I said, represented in an upright position with soul searching, introspection, being alone, and inner guidance.
Joseph
It
isn't
fits-
alone.
Well,
fit-
m-
It
Most
fits
of
how
it
he was in
fits.
part 2. If it's how he was at the
True.
start of part 2. He started out alone, and he went through introspection, and he went through a revelation about like people in his life over the course of part 2.
True. You're so right. Good job,
Also,
Mike.
thank you. Also about Hermit Purple needing an expensive camera to use Hermit Purple's main power is a funny limitation, and it also works
He's
really
rich.
well. Yeah, yeah. But like, you're going to Egypt, where are you gonna get a camera in the middle of the desert?
Who knows?
Yeah, but it works very well in avoiding situations of why didn't you just Hermit Purple?
He should have honestly just bought like 5 of them and brought them with him.
But then Dio would destroy them all. He'd be like, Joseph would be like, good thing I have these extra cameras with me. And then Dio would be like, you mean those cameras I already destroyed? And then it'd be
I
over.
think it works with the cameras like it does with the TV.
Yeah, it's just like a one-off with the camera, so he doesn't.
Unless like Dio just keeps trolling him and like, here's a picture of the plant in my bathroom instead.
Here's a picture of me flexing. Mm-hmm.
In my weird gun holster cocktail dress.
Oh yeah, he's dressed like a sexy slutty gun holster for a Halloween costume on one of the chapter title pages.
Yeah.
If there's any words to describe Dio, it's sexy and slutty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Then we get another thing in the series, which I don't remember. Was this in part 1 and part 2? And that is the
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
It was not in the manga. In the manga, this is the first time it's ever appeared, and like we've seen like these parts of Jonathan and Joseph's body in the manga before, and it's just not there. So it's really just a straight up retcon.
Yeah.
But the anime has some.
went back and the anime wanted to fix itself. It's like
and like when Jonathan is staring down Tarkus and shirtless, you can see it, and Joseph. I forget where, but you can definitely see it on him a couple times.
Mm-hmm.
The anime added a scene where you see it on the next JoJo.
True.
But I think for all the rest of the JoJos, the birthmark has been like actually important.
Mm-hmm.
So
especially the current one.
Yeah.
Through the power of Hermit Purple, we get to see their fated enemy, Dio. And he's sexy. Oh my god.
And you know,
oh my god.
That says like people in our 20s and 30s, we really need to bring back the social media image of your back turned to the camera and looking behind you.
And your arms like crossed up over yourself.
It's so much better than Duckface. It's so much better than whatever they're doing on TikTok.
Just
Jojo drink poses. Bleach challenge.
Dog faces on Snapchat. It's better than that.
Where's the Snapchat filter that turns you into the Dio pose?
I don't know.
Get on.
I might actually use Snapchat if it did.
Yeah.
There probably is some sort of app out there that does that.
Yeah.
Then we do learn, as they are watching the Dio photo, that he actually does kind of feel them. He's like, I feel as if someone's watching me. Descendants. And then he just bites a woman and throws her down.
Prepare for trouble.
Make it double.
Stans seem to have a strong familial connection. Ironically, being born a Stan user is like way rarer than getting one through a familial connection. Like that's how Jotaro and Joseph get theirs. I think the only born Stan users are like the ones we know in parts. The ones we know in part 3, like Avdol, Kakyoin, Polnareff, and I think Weather Report in part 6.
True.
All the rest come from different means.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So that's the.
They also hinted later that Enya is a natural Stand user.
Oh yeah, she might be. Yeah. But like confirmed, I think we can count the number of confirmed born Stand users on like one hand.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the cafe scene. And and now Jotaro's just kind of going about his business, going to school, getting swarmed by girlies because he's a stud, he's a Chad.
Honestly.
They're attracted to his raw animal energy.
They all want the D.
They love it when he tells them to shut the fuck up because they're being so dang noisy.
They love his sexism. It's great. Shut
They're
the fuck
getting
up.
all.
It's good.
And watching over him is the scary figure of not only just Kakyoin, it's weird hair Kakyoin. His hair is weird in his first appearance.
And
Yeah,
not only weird hair Kakyoin, but weird hair Kakyoin drawing Jotaro, perfectly accurately.
I know, it's a fine art student.
Yes.
It's not only fine art student weird hair Kakyoin, it's fine art student weird hair Kakyoin with a scarf.
Scarf. The really long, overdramatic scarf that never shows up again after the next scene.
Yeah, he forgot it at school. Well, Jotaro forgot it at school.
Yeah. So then we reach to the point where JoJo tubers just have a field day with Araki Forgot, and that is when Kakyoin is painting Jotaro, and then he just uses like a red paint to slit his leg, and then it actually happens to Jotaro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I never got why people were convinced the painting was was a power of Hierophant Green that we never see again. Kakyoin's just being dramatic. Same with Same with the puppet. He's just all about the aesthetic as he's evil.
Yeah, because you even see and this is the OVA, now a lot of people have watched it, but in the OVA it shows Hierophant Green's tentacles cutting his leg.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So a lot of people now are just like, well, if Kakyoin could have done that, why doesn't he just paint Dio and slit his throat?
I think the big
doesn't work that way.
I think why people make a big deal about it is because this is it's actually like a power that appears in other media. I've seen this power before where you draw someone and then it's basically like a
voodoo
doll.
thing.
Yeah, like a voodoo doll, but with a drawing.
I've seen that too.
So it's
if
you see it, you expect it to be that, right?
Yeah, they expect things to be clear when things can be kind of vague in JoJo at times.
They don't want to read in between the lines.
Interesting.
Jotaro falls down the stairs.
He catches himself.
Star Platinum, yeah.
First time it's really he's using it to help himself.
He makes the best face after he does. He's like, oh.
Jotaro's way more expressive at the start of the manga.
Really is.
Compared to later and compared to the anime. In the anime, they really kind of they Batmaned him. They made him very, very unexpressive.
Mm-hmm.
Which he's supposed to be like that, but he just makes the same face all the time. In the manga, you have a bit more variety, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, definitely. There's even there's a bunch of screenshots that Mike sent me of just comparing the manga to the anime, specific shots, and it's just different. He's just more expressive in the manga.
It's either more subdued or just they change the expressions straight up. Like later when he's about to take the flesh bud out of Polnareff in the anime, he's making his usual tough guy face, but in the manga he's got this ah face.
Mm-hmm.
Sync that to my voice. Ah. Show the picture. Ah. Yay!
So then Kakyoin, he's like, okay, I gotta get ready, everyone. He puts on his scarf and then he just struts down the stairs like he's on RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah. He's like, clean yourself up.
He
hands him a handkerchief.
Yeah.
Thank God Jotaro doesn't open it then and there.
Yeah. Thank God he doesn't actually use it to bandage his leg like Kakyoin suggested, because that would really kind of ruin the message he wrote on it.
It would ruin the aesthetic, yeah.
Would have just been
Jotaro Jojo just kind of keeps it like some kind of Victorian lover.
So Kakyoin doesn't have to creepily follow him to the nurse's office.
Yeah. Yeah, they go to the nurse's office. There's a hot nurse. Oh yeah, hot nurse time. Yeah. Oh yeah.
In the dub, she's got that nice Wendy Lee voice.
Oh yeah. Welcome
Right?
back, Faye
I have a note for
Hello.
it here. As soon as I got
What?
to this part, I wrote down a note. I said he's gonna fuck the nurse. And then
Not with those other delinquents watching.
well,
You can just tell them to leave. They'd do it.
Probably.
But-
Yeah, like, we gotta quit though. We need to sit here and watch this.
Yes.
Yeah.
What
And
what was your note? Just that he's gonna fuck the nurse.
yeah, and then when he like kissed her and shit, I was like, well, he got close. That
He
was
got
when
her clothes off.
he
Her
did.
clothes randomly fell off when he kissed her.
Well,
yeah, you're right. They did.
her clothes were already like halfway off. It was weird. She was just getting like half undressed out of nowhere.
She was spazzing out too hard.
Yes.
She went crazy and went stupid.
True, because
Stabbed out that guy's eye and that other guy's eye.
it goes back to my other point of what happens if Jotaro never opened the handkerchief. Was Kakyoin just gonna sit there staring at the window, hoping he does, waiting until Jotaro gets all cleaned up and stuff, and the nurse actually takes temperatures?
Well-
Jotaro, I got the puppet out. Come on, look at the puppet. Isn't it creepy? I've got
It's
the
a
star.
German marionette.
Yeah. Isn't this fun? Aren't you having some fun? We're having a wacky little time here.
I'm artsy.
Yeah.
Damn.
I just transferred from an art school. Can't you tell?
Then you get the nurse whose hair also keeps changing in every panel.
Yep.
And she picks up a pen and she's like, "I'm gonna take your temperatures" to the random delinquents in there.
Just
And she
foam.
stabs one guy out, like you said.
Yeah, she's foaming at the mouth. She's going all crazy, and Jotaro sees the little face in her mouth.
Which is weird because Hierophant Green has a mouth. It usually doesn't.
It does. It has a
Well,
mouth under the mask. We saw
yeah.
it when it fought Greyfly.
Yeah, I saw that too. I was like, he doesn't usually have one. He doesn't have one in the anime.
No, he does. I think it's
Does?
just a little. I think it's just a little blocked, but he's definitely got like a mouth in that scene when the Tower of Grey breaks through its mask.
His little ventilation chamber, his
Well-
regulator.
Little gas mask, little Bane mask. Nobody
hates
cared
it.
who I was until I put on the woman.
Darkness is
Damn.
my ally. I like the dark.
It's true.
And even the puppets got little earrings.
That's true.
Which is weird because it's one of those little drawing reference dolls. It's not like an actual puppet. It's just one of those that he put on a string, I guess.
It looks kind of like the original form of Surface from Part 4.
True.
It's probably the same type. Yeah.
So yeah, we get to Dylan's infamous note of Jotaro kisses the nurse and then rips Hierophant Green out of her mouth.
Oh
That's good.
yeah. Jotaro sucking Hierophants out of the nurse's mouth. It reminds me of what he'll do later to Enya a little bit.
Oh yeah. Then we move on to the Hierophant Tarot, which I think is interesting because Kakyoin, in both his evil form and his normal form, does both the upright and the reversed. Which here for the reversed we have personal beliefs, freedom, challenging the status quo, which he kind of does with his whole little "I'm the hero, I'm gonna defeat the villain" speech. Then after he turns good, he gets the upright version, which is spiritual wisdom, conformity, tradition, and institutions.
Kakyoin's a little conformist. I mean, it
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
sense. He does wear. He says like, "Why aren't you gonna take?" When Joseph says, "Aren't you gonna take off your uniform?" He says, "No." He's straight up conforming. He's like the honor student to Jotaro's rebel.
Yeah, he says, "I'm gonna go to the pool and just sit there in my uniform."
He's also apparently supposed to be in Iraq. In Iraq's little one of the interviews in Jojonium. He says, or no, wait, it was one of the character profiles in the manga itself. It says Kakyoin's supposed to be effeminate. Yeah,
Nice.
you're really getting across that in your art style, Rocky.
Honestly,
He's a slightly slimmer rectangle.
Mm-hmm.
It's good.
Yeah. While we're on Hierophant Green, I wanted to say that I feel that Hierophant Green is a great starting point for enemy stands in general. It's very alien and robotic in design, which is kind of like the mold Araki kind of steps into, starting with later in part 3 and from part 4 onward. Especially after like the 3 ones we've seen so far look very natural. Star Platinum's a guy, Hermit Purple's vines, and Magician's Red's a big bird.
Yeah.
It's got a creepy power that leads to some like eerie vibes and some gruesome violence right out of the gate with this fight. And
Yeah.
and like it's got a general underhanded usage with like puppeteering this innocent woman to bounce off Jotaro's more quote unquote noble way of like doing things straight up, you know?
It's punching the crap out of things.
Mm. Punches the crap out of everything's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he fights Kakyoin and he ends up just beating the shit out of him after calling him a melon.
Yeah. Always with the sick burns with Jotaro.
He's got the worst burns ever, honestly, and I
You
kind
look
of love
like
that.
a melon. I look like a delicious fruit.
Yes, but Kakyoin, you can't say that.
But then we get Kakyoin's famous melon attack that became a meme all itself, the Emerald Splash.
Captain Melonhead. Remember that?
True.
That was my favorite Ed, Edd n Eddy episode when I was a kid.
Who
Well,
do you think
actually,
would
I
be
was
Ed and Eddie? Out of any like part 3 characters, who would be Ed, and then
of
etc.
course.
Jotaro puts the Ed, Edd n Eddy in special ed. Or wait,
That's
no.
true. Wait,
What was I saying?
you mean the special Ed and Eddie?
Jotaro is special ed.
That, I get it. That makes
don't.
sense. All right.
I don't.
Anyways, Emerald
Yeah,
Splash.
what was it? Emeraldo Splash. Did
I
you know
don't
that
like that.
Hierophant?
Yeah.
Did you know that Hierophant Green was originally called Hierophant Emerald in the original serialization? But it changed to Hierophant Green when he became an official good guy.
Oh.
Just shows how extra he is when under Dio's control.
He's always pretty extra, but when he's evil and extra, he gets very extra.
Very. And it's actually funny because at first I never understood what the the Emerald Splash was. Like he
Yeah.
just summons water from his hand and like throws rocks. Like what was he doing?
It's his gamer goo.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that. I still don't get it. Is it like just emeralds, or is there water, or is it both? Like, is it just
The
an
water
effect?
pressure is launching the emeralds at you. It's like
Yeah.
making the force like more impactful.
Yeah, it's something like that, yeah.
I don't get what water and emeralds have to do with each other, but hey, it's Iraqi.
Well, I guess the water is like emerald colored because sometimes water is that color. But like,
True.
I don't know. It's weird.
Why did they call it Hierophant Green and not Tentacle Tony?
Who knows?
Well,
Come on,
if I ever meet Araki, I'm gonna have to ask him that.
Yeah. First the skeleton heel question, and then Tentacle Tony.
Yeah, that's it. It's very important.
Yeah.
So then we get to the most important part of the scene when Jotaro actually blocks the Emerald Splash. Which is impossible, according to the dub.
Yeah, that's impossible. No, but not before
defeats the Emerald Splash.
But not before he talks about how he's such a bad guy because like he gets into fights. He beat up a teacher once, and he skimps on bills if he doesn't like the food. What a little fucker.
Damn. Jotaro is a bad guy. Can't
But
believe
even
it.
he can see true evil.
Jotaro doesn't tip his commissioners.
Fucker.
I know, right?
Can't believe that.
He can
Especially
see
an
true
innocent
evil.
woman.
Man, so right here we kind of get this little bit about how Jotaro, he's not a nice guy. It It actually reminds me. I know. I think Mike. I think you said this like in part two or something. How like there's like progression with the protagonist where like Jonathan, he was like very like kind, like good guy, like just through and through. And then we
Yeah,
got to Joseph, and he's like more of like a punk, a little bit more like a
he's like a
loner,
prankster. Yeah,
prankster. And then Jotaro is like an even more extreme of that, where he's like a delinquent, but like like at their core, they're always like still good. Like they
yeah.
Yeah.
still have.
Jonathan was the springboard of the or of the Joestar lineage, so that's why he had to be so pure and good. So that way, like you always know, no, even when you see Jotaro here at in jail, even when he's calling his mom a bitch, you know he's still got Jonathan's blood in him. So there must be some good, and that's where you
Hmm.
see that here, really.
It comes out like in the moment of need, I suppose.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's able to rip Kakyoin's asshole apart.
Yeah,
And
that's
he
nice.
pretty much kidnaps him, takes him back to his house.
Honestly, yeah, he just like, all right, this guy's coming with me. Take care of the nurse, guys. Bye.
Well, I mean, like,
I'm missing an eye.
what's he gonna
Eye.
do? Take him to the hospital?
That's
Oh,
stupid.
He's
how
got a
Jotaro
bug
go
in his
there?
head.
I know. I'll take him to the school. Oh,
Oh
Oh yeah.
shit.
yeah. So he takes him home. He has a little scene with his mother. Nice little scene. Nice little cute little scene.
And you know what the cutest part is?
What?
Continuity with Holly's hair.
Yeah.
Looks the same the entire scene.
Good job. Good job.
Yay.
It actually is a really cute scene because you get Holly, she's not feeling good, and Jotaro obviously knows something's up, but she still says, "No, don't worry about me. I'm fine, Jotaro. You go do whatever you need to do."
Yeah.
It's kind of
It
cute.
shows us that like she's not crazy thinking that like Jotaro's still a good person deep down because we just learned that and we're seeing here that like he does care about her. It's just like
Yeah,
in his own weird like it's kind
separate
of
way.
yeah, it's in like his arm's length way.
Mhm.
It's good.
Yeah. So he takes Kakyoin to Grandpa Joe and they find the flesh bud. Dun dun dun.
And then we get to my first horror reference. Yay!
Oh.
All right, so as you can know, you probably do know, um, Stardust Crusaders is a modern retelling of Dracula,
Yeah,
around
that's how
so
it
you have the book and the movie going
yeah.
on.
Wait, it
So the
is?
flesh buds,
Yeah, yeah, that's what Araki's original intentions were, but the editors said like we want it to be in Japan, so there's a little bit of a compromise where we have like the first volumes worth of chapters starting in Japan
I see.
and
yeah,
having
and
like
then
a
there's like
Japanese
around the world in
protagonist.
80 days
Yeah,
events
mixed
where they
into
go to
that.
different places.
Hmm.
But the flesh buds are a continuation of the Dracula theme because in most Dracula media, vampire media, he kind of can manipulate people, using mind control. So they
Yeah,
decided to do this in Rocky's own little creepy way by making the flesh buds part of like little worms that are part of Dio's skin, which reminds me a lot of a movie called Night of the Creeps, which had basically the same premise of worms
do
going
the
into people's
creep.
brains and controlling them.
Yeah, it's pretty neat. It's like how like
Brain parasites are a normal thing, yeah.
vampires aren't like a magical thing in this world. It's all like weird body manipulation stuff. So it makes sense that this is like body stuff still, body
Yeah.
horror.
It even reminds me of like that scene in Battle Tendency when Stroheim and Joseph are fighting Santana, and Santana does this attack to make him so they don't open the door to the hatch letting in the sun, where his like skin is like leeches, and it
Oh
latches
yeah,
onto Joseph's leg and make him start dissolving it.
meat
Reminds me a lot of
invade,
that.
also known as foul flesh. I remember that.
So it's kind of that what's it called? Parallel
Body.
to the Pillarmen that vampires have
Yeah,
in this version.
yeah.
It's pretty cool.
I like that Dio's vampirism isn't just like baggage from Phantom Blood,
Yeah,
and
it
that new
doesn't just
stuff
go
is
away.
it's like new stuff is still being done with it, like flesh buds. It seems to fare better than Hamon in this part, which just
Yeah.
hits like a random cameo like a handful of times throughout.
Including this
nothing.
scene when Jotaro pulls the flesh bud out of Kakuin's head, even though Joseph says, "It's not gonna work, it's not gonna work," and then Jotaro just does it.
Oh, it works. Well, how about that?
And then finally defeat it, Joseph uses the Harmon and it blows it up.
Dan Harmon.
Hmm.
Dangled Harmon.
I didn't
yes.
even
You also
like.
get this.
I didn't even realize that Joseph used Hamon here. That like didn't cross my mind.
I remember in the OVA they changed it to Avdol just burning it.
Oh, that does make sense because the people who haven't read the manga would not know of what that's based off of what he's doing.
He uses it later in the OVA. Not that OVA, but like in the final battle of the last OVA.
Oh, well, that one also did come first too.
That's true, yeah.
The Egypt stuff came before the leading to Egypt stuff.
Right, yeah.
Then you also get the terrifying idea that Kakuin wakes up while Jotaro is taking the flesh bud out, and he's super calm about it. He's like, "Oh, you're just pulling this thing out of my head? Okay."
Is this where we kiss? Is that
It's
where
just
you're
like a
leaning in?
book.
Oh, there's something in my head.
Just like
Oh, and I
I'd rather
completely
not
forgot.
die.
Yeah. Kiss over or death. You get one or the other. But you also get this fun scene during this where Avdol, while they're talking about the flesh bud, says that he met Dio.
Oh,
And
yeah.
Dio does this really weird panel where his hair like grows and all the flesh buds are hiding in it, like he's throwing them at Avdol. And luckily Avdol screams really exaggeratedly and runs away. No, he jumps out a window.
He goes, "Ah," and then runs.
Then he makes this little face like he's reminiscing about, like, "Oh yeah, that was fun. I jumped out the window.
Those were the days.
I barely escaped that, but hey, and now I wear this headband, so I'll never get a flesh bud."
He's just like, well, I made it out alive, so.
I wonder if that
memories.
is why he's got the headband. Did he not have it in the flashback?
He did.
He did,
I
yeah.
was just making a joke.
Okay.
I also get like Dio's wearing his lipstick in this scene.
Nice.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
It's the first time we see him in it.
He's experimenting. He's like trying to learn, you know.
Modern times call for modern measures.
It's been a century. I wonder how effeminate I can be here now.
And just takes him to a JCPenney and gets a bunch of makeup.
Yeah.
Oh, Dio, look at these prices. It's all on clearance.
That's how Dio sounds. That's how Dio communicates. He only communicates through Tim Curry laughs.
Yeah, it seems like that. They like gave the Japanese actor and the English actor like, here's like here $500, just laugh. Make it sound sexy.
Yeah. So yeah, Fleshbud has been removed. Everything's cool, but not. It turned Holly passed out, and it turns out she's developing something.
She got to stand.
She's got to stand, but she can't control it. Oh no.
Yeah.
Then we're introduced to the worst villains of the series, Joseph's pajamas and the menacing skull.
Yeah. People question why Holly can't control her stand while there are characters like Iggy and Bug Eaton and Foo Fighters that like they're not human but they can. But like it makes sense to me. What's happening to her is like a prolonged sickness-based reaction to in the same vein as like an unworthy person being shot with the arrow or something.
Oh, the arrow! You mentioned that already.
The arrow.
I might as well. Dylan knows the arrow. He saw something.
Okay. See, I was trying to keep away from talking about the arrow because I didn't know that Dylan knew about it.
I don't know about the arrow. I don't remember.
Yeah, you
this.
do. We watched like 10 episodes apart.
That doesn't mean I paid attention the whole time.
Then close your ears.
Just don't talk about it.
Okay. For you, little buddy.
Hey.
Tony just doesn't have enough willpower to control her kind of stand.
Yeah.
Whereas you get people like Ayasuji later on, Tony Otra, the Italian name,
Antonio
who they can
Italiano.
control their stands because it stands based off what they like to do: cook, cosmetic surgery, versus Holly's, which seems to be more of a power-based stand, which Holly doesn't want to fight. She doesn't have the willpower to do so, so it's killing her.
Yeah.
But
It makes sense to me.
It's Jojo fans, so they gotta
They gotta
fit about it.
Yeah. If something's not explained in 100% detail, it's obviously wrong.
Chuckmeister can go and work for NASA, but he can't accept anime BS.
Mm.
Anyway, so Abdul finds her in the fridge, probably trying to grab a snack or something, but she collapses because her stand is there.
No, she was obviously going there to cook. She's a girl.
Yeah, what are you on
Cooking
about?
is still grabbing a snack. She's grabbing a snack for everyone. Which she's also gonna put in a bowl and put in the oven and
Yeah.
like
My favorite
a snack.
my favorite bowl oven.
Snack called breakfast.
Without Holly, who else is going to make the food? They don't know how because they're
Restaurant
men.
people.
Can't believe it.
That's why you get Joseph's running gag of let's grab something to eat.
They go to the nicest restaurant, in a fucking wasteland.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then we see that Jotaro and Joseph, at the same time, realize Holly's fate. And you get a completely different reactions. You get Joseph, who, freaks out. He's like, no! And he grabs Jotaro by the shirt and is like, what do we do? What do we do? And Jotaro's looks at him like, what do we do? Come on, let's go. Don't just sit there whining. And you truly realize that Joseph, despite calling his mom a bitch all the time, actually cares about her.
Yeah.
Wants to go save her.
It's nice, little lovely little behavior. You get a little scene a little later when Holly wakes up and she interacts with Joseph in a scene that I know you love that scene.
No,
I know you do. I know you love that. It's your favorite scene.
That's when I messaged you that night. I was like, "Is the mom okay?" This is really weird.
No, she's dying. No, not that. Okay.
Yeah, because you get they're talking about we need to go find Dio, and they figure out that he's in Egypt because Star Platinum uses his 1-800 contact eyes to find out the type of fly that's near Dio in the picture.
It's kind of understated compared to other big brain plays later, but I do like the fly scene and how they realize the destination.
The fly thing is absolutely ridiculous. Because
what are you talking about?
It's fun.
Yeah.
This is a picture that was created from an 80s camera. There's no way the picture has that high of a resolution.
Star Platinum has 20,000 over 20 vision.
Yeah, but there's no way that it would even be in the picture in the first place.
Star Platinum is perfection humanized.
It's so ridiculous.
It's also a psychic picture, so why not have a psychic look at it?
Yeah.
Look at it psychically.
It was taken normally.
Yeah.
It's
a super psychic.
It's a psychic Polaroid.
Yeah.
So now that they know where to go, it's time to tell Holly to calm down. So then we get my favorite scene in this first bit of Joseph feeding her an apple, brushing her teeth, wiping down her legs with a damp cloth, brushing her hair, and then she looks at him and says, Papa, can you change my underwear for me too? And no, I didn't like that. I was like, no.
She says she's kidding.
I know she is, but it's still kind of weird with how she's been acting the past couple
days. It's definitely
weird. It's weird, but it feels like it's that way on purpose. I don't think Araki wrote this. This is how people act. This is normal.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was weird, but I didn't really have any kind of reaction to it because I'm an anime fan.
It's just
this happens all the time.
I've seen this before. I swear.
So, and with the promise of changing Holly's underwear, Kakuin shows up. Hey guys, what's going on?
Are you doing something in here?
What's up?
I-
Do y'all want some cocktail?
you want some cocktails? You want some cocktail?
Yeah, cherry flavored.
Mhm.
Uh,
Yeah, the little Joseph pampering her scene is weird, but like it also serves to show that contrast again, where Jotaro like gruffly tells Holly to stay in bed, but like he's doing that because he doesn't want her to move around because she's sick.
Yeah.
yeah, because he's concerned for her. He's her dad.
She's from yeah,
No, we're talking about Jotaro,
She-
right?
she's her mom. She's his mom.
Her mom.
Oh,
One of
I thought you were talking
those.
about
Trans
Joseph, my bad.
Jotaro. Jotaro is officially trans now.
That's the
I
time
dig it.
travel storyline that everyone wanted.
Yeah, it's like
Alright.
that one Futurama.
Oh.
That's
Uh,
good.
Yeah. So yeah, Speedwagon Foundation shows up to doctor her.
And
Shout out to
finally,
best bro from the afterlife.
it's gonna keep on loving you.
Yes.
Good boy. Good boy.
And
Yes.
finally get Jotaro's stand name, which we've been calling him by his name this whole time, but it's
Yeah.
Star Platinum. Upright of the Star Tarot card, which means hope, faith, renewal, and spirituality. Thank you for that background noise. Lovely.
That's the theme song. Yeah. And so they're off. They're off to Egypt. Off on a plane.
Egypt. They're gonna do it.
But not before something funky happens aboard the plane.
Yeah.
There's a stand aboard there. There's a stand on the plane.
No, they all see Abdul and then they're like, "Oh shit, it's a Muslim. What are we gonna
I
do?"
know.
And
This is
then
the 80s. That
yeah,
doesn't happen yet.
and then Jotaro's like, "Dude, 9/11 hasn't happened yet." And then everyone's like, "Oh my god."
What is that? Yeah,
Yes.
that. We shouldn't know that yet. This is the 80s. The first real fourth wall breaking of the part. Second only to the best one later with Wheel of Fortune, obviously. But no, there's a little buggus aboard.
Bug.
It's
It's
true.
like a
There is a bug.
stag beetle. And
Yeah,
with Jotaro and Kakyoin being Japanese, they want to catch it.
what is with like mangaka assuming that like beetles and liking beetles and trying to catch them is like a worldwide thing with kids?
I don't know. It's just a
isn't
thing.
it?
It is. I've never heard of anybody doing it outside of like anime kids.
It's definitely a
Yeah.
thing here.
Is it?
Is it?
I was like really deathly afraid of bugs, but like it was like a thing that kids did.
I've never met anyone who's been super into catching bugs.
Huh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Watching videos of them on YouTube, but never catching them. I guess it's because Japan, they have all those forests and stuff with like all the beetles, all the cicadas, versus America where you get a modern house roach, maybe a creepy cicada, you get a wasp. Not
Yeah.
really as like lovely.
Dylan doesn't have time for watching videos of bugs. Dylan only has time for watching videos of mowing lawns.
Yes, and also lately I've been watching people clear drains, and it's been very satisfying. Why is it that funny?
Because you're so freaking lame.
It's so good. It's satisfying.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna turn into one of like those old Italian men that goes and watch construction sites?
You
What?
yes.
I mean,
I also yes. Listen, I've gone down a road, and I'm not gonna stop.
uh,
Alright, so this isn't just any bug. This is a horror reference bug. Oh, here I go
it's
again.
a xenomorph bug, right?
It's two references actually. So the first is yes, the xenomorph. It has a little mouth inside its mouth.
It's good.
The second is a reference to the movie Phantasm, which
Ooh.
even when you see it's Phantasm,
My favorite Batman movie.
yeah, but it's the whole movie, it's about this kid who is like watching a funeral home, and the main bad guy kind of looks like the stand user here. But in one scene, the bad guy, his fingers get cut off, and the kid puts them in a box, because they're like spewing mustard or something. I don't know. And yeah, it's the blood's yellow because he's an alien or something. Spoilers.
Right.
So when he goes to show his brother the fingers, the mustard fingers, it turns into a fly and starts attacking him.
Ooh.
There's actually a scene in this part where Tower of Grey, the evil bug stand, is like smashing through people's mouths, which is reference to the bad guy, the mustard fingers guy's main weapon, which are these like chrome balls, which like smash into your head and like drain your blood.
Weird, funny.
I know, right?
It's quite funky. And classic rock reference right from my brain. Greyfly is a reference to Glenn Frey, the lead singer of the Eagles. Bet you don't got that in your notes, do you?
Yes, I do.
I did.
Dang it.
I watch Harmon Beat.
I watch Ham and Cheese.
So
Yeah.
the bug's just causing an absolute scene, and they can't attack it without like crashing the plane.
The
So,
Tower Grey
is
Tower Grey is a real creepy stand. I like, especially the Xenomorph tongue. The way it can like outmaneuver Star Platinum it's good for establishing that like specialties of other stands can outdo. I'm like, this thing's special is speed, thus facilitating the need for the rest of the party. Kakyoin especially so, since like now he's got a chance to prove himself by handling an enemy Jotaro didn't, and like assuring the readers he's a good guy now.
He does the good.
Hmm.
So this old guy who is the stand user, he actually kind of reminds me of like fucking the guy that Dio was controlling back in Phantom Blood, like the old like Oriental guy.
Wang Chan?
I guess. That
I don't
sounds
think
racist
that's the
enough.
correct term of what
That's
to
how
call
he was.
him.
That's how he was referred in the thing. So that's why I was like, jokingly.
You're recalling, yeah. Shout out to that.
Or maybe he was called, like called a Chinaman or something. I don't know. It was some racist
Something that
Either way, it's not
something
okay.
yeah, something that we shouldn't be saying.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Anyway, tarot time. Tower of Grey is a reversed version of the Tower card, which is personal transformation, fear of change, and averting disaster. Which is funny because this guy's like crashing planes and escaping them while stealing all the people's valuables.
Yeah, he actually like some of the earlier stands, like actually early enemy stand users actually say what their card symbolizes. Greyfly does it too.
Yeah, but he's using the not the reverse, but he's using the upright, which is chaos and sudden changes. Which it does kind of do that as well, because this is a change in tone, because he's the first villain that they're fighting who's not flesh-butted. He's actually getting like paid for what he's doing. But it kind of makes you wonder, like, I had this funny image of what happens when he crashes the plane. Does he just like jump out and he's like holding onto a stand, like, hey, I got it, I did it. He's like holding onto its legs.
Yeah. Fly me. It's probably not a coincidence Greyfly woke up when he did. He probably realized the same thing as Kakyoin, because like he wakes up right as Avdol is about to attack, and like right as Kakyoin's about to say no, don't. So he probably like was trying to avoid getting himself killed too.
True, because Avdol wouldn't just attack an old dude. Especially not knowing that he was the stand user yet.
Yeah. So this is a pretty cool little short. This is probably one of the shortest fights around in the series, actually.
Isn't it like
it's only
one
really
chapter?
I think so. Yeah. I think Araki may have been trying to play up Kakyoin as some sort of like a sicko on the DL on the down low with like the line about how his stand likes to shred things up. May have just been like his attempt at a cool guy line though.
I mean, Kakyoin, like, okay, I think a lot of people, like artists and writers, kind of mischaracterize Kakyoin by making him like a really like sweet, lovely dude. When in actuality, Kakyoin's kind of snappy,
Hmm.
kind of mean. He's like sharp and rude, but he can also be kind of nice.
Yeah,
Like they all.
he's like supposed to be like the level-headed one, but like he's also kind of
Hmm.
like snippy and sarcastic.
As we'll see later.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So,
I like the
so
little line
anyways,
about when Joseph's like, "This is the third time I'm in a
In a
plane
plane crash.
crash."
Yeah,
Is
fun bit of
I thought it was
continuity.
good. Yeah.
it's cursed.
And Jojo was just like, "I'm not riding with you ever again." It's
That's
good.
So,
bullshit.
so yeah, Kakyoin beats Tower of Grey, tears into pieces, and we find out the old man was the stand user all the time. This really creepy thing with his tongue where the imprint of the stand is on it. He tells them that, hey, Dio's sending a bunch of people after you guys, so you're never going to make it to Egypt. And while
F
we're at it, I killed the pilot.
F
Yeah.
you. Yeah.
It's
Yes.
just weird that he's up and walking around after his stand got torn to pieces, so he should technically be also torn to pieces, but hey, you know what? He needed to exposize for a bit.
Yeah.
It's fun.
He's up and about. Pretty spry for an old guy.
That is true.
And yeah, the plane crashes, and now they're in Hong Kong.
They
Right?
made it.
Nope.
Slightly, barely, maybe a bit off the coast.
Yeah.
You see the plane in the ocean, and people getting rescued.
And
Yeah.
then they're just in a nice restaurant. And we start part three's trend of shoving fun facts in at random times.
Yeah, because did you know that as for more tea, you just put the lid of the teapot ajar a bit?
Yeah. The anime jumps on it too. Did you know that they serve hot cola in Hong Kong?
Hot
Yeah.
cola?
You
Yeah,
don't
that
even
was
have to say thank you. You just have to tap the table.
yeah. That's how you say that. It's like it feels like Araki just wanted to like throw in the trivia he found at research without really like he just wanted to waste nothing that he learned. But I like it though. It kind of adds to that road trip feel. Just
Yeah, because
the
Iraqi travels.
yeah, it's that
Interesting.
random fun facts. It's funny.
Uh,
Yeah, and
it's
that's when
kind of natural how he says it.
yeah. It's not like it's like he's just saying that while they're walking around town about to be attacked by a stand user. He's like, "Wait, before we fight, did you know?"
No,
Yeah,
instead
it's kind of like a little dinner scene.
instead they're
Yeah,
just sitting around waiting to get attacked by a stand
attacked.
user.
Yeah,
Which comes to our introduction of the best character, massive tits, lack of wits. He's Polnareff, the big French bitch.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love him.
He's got a little ass cape in his first appearance.
He does, and he just—I love how he just like shows up. He's like, "Hello, I'm Polnareff. I have I need help with the menu."
Would you
There's
mind?
no like, oh, this is an evil guy. He just shows up and be like, "Hi, everybody, it's me, Polnareff." But the anime kind of ruins this because when they enter the restaurant, he's shown sitting there menacingly at a table.
Innocent. I don't think anybody like knew. Nobody was fooled that this guy with the pillar haircut was just a random dude.
No, and they even like, oh, Joseph was. He's like, "Hey, why don't you sit down with us and we'll eat whatever I order?" And his order's wrong.
But yeah, we got a full detailed list of what they got, which is probably just a bunch of stuff Araki got when he was hanging out there.
Yeah, you get rice soup, cooked fish, shellfish, and fried frog.
Yeah,
Which I'm gonna try to pronounce their
yeah.
names, the actual names.
I'm not even gonna
Ironically,
try.
Polnareff looks disgusted by the frog.
He's kind of like, what? What's this?
Nani?
Mitch, have either of you had frog?
Nope.
Nope.
It's kind of swampy.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's kind of like they say it tastes like chicken, but it's got kind of like a spicy kind of backwash flavor.
Huh.
Yeah. Then
Sounds
again, I was
interesting.
12.
Interesting.
That's interesting. Man, maybe I'll try.
Have you
I'll
also
go
had
I'll go outside,
porridge?
go outside, catch a frog, and eat a hole.
Okay.
And if it doesn't taste good, I'm blaming you.
Okay, you can do that.
Okay.
Have fun, Mike. I'll just stay over here not doing that. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So,
Then we get how ultimately subtle Polnareff is by saying, "This star shape, it seems so familiar. I've got a friend who has a mark just like this on his back." And then everyone's like, "Oh, it's a bad guy."
and
And then the
and then
soup
there-
attacks.
yes.
Yeah, it draws a sword out and it's like, "Give me your money, punks."
Mm. Yeah,
A
we
shoot.
we see Silver Chariot for the first time.
Oh shoot, I haven't even prepared his card. Give me a sec.
I remember this card. I did my own little tarot card research a while back for my own thing. And I think Polnareff even says it represents like drive and overcoming opposing forces and victory and stuff.
It does.
I think overcoming opposing forces means like fitting his two opposing tits into that shirt.
Yeah, but he's also the reversed in the scene with no self-discipline, opposition, or lack of direction, which he kind of gets for the whole part of what we're talking about today. He gets
Yeah.
better.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So him and Avdol begin to fight, but then they decide to take it outside because they're setting the restaurant on fire and freaking people out.
Kinda, yeah.
As,
Leave it
as
to-
usual.
Leave it to Iraqi to pick out the most difficult to draw background for a fight,
The Tiger Balm Garden.
just because he probably thought it was a cool place.
I literally thought this was the same place as that place with like statues of hell where like people are getting like their peenies cut off and like crushed and stuff with like snakes and things, but it's not. So I was kind of like, oh okay. Knows how
Yeah.
much I know.
Yeah. So yeah, Avdol versus Polnareff, they start throwing down straight up.
They're here to fight. It's
Your life to party.
I feel like Araki, you said he like travels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so he probably like went there and was just like, man, this place is really fucking cool.
I wanna yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I got a fight here.
Rocky loves his horror movies, he loves his traveling, and he loves his music. Which, speaking of music, we get two references here. We get Polnareff, who's named after French singer Michael Polnareff, who absolutely loves that this character's named after him.
Nice.
That's good.
Like, he goes on Twitter and he's like, "I am Jean-Pierre Polnareff," and on a Valentine's Day, he shared a little video of a 3DS Max Polnareff playing a piano and singing his song.
Aw, that's nice.
And we also get a Avdol music reference by his attack Crossfire Hurricane, which is from the lyrics of Jumping Jack Flash from
Rolling Stones. Yeah.
Which we will never hear about in Jojo again, right?
Never.
Rolling Stones or Jumping Jack's Flash. So, long story short, Polnareff loses.
Polnareff carves a carving of Magician's Red just for funsies.
It's to show how like cool he is.
Yeah, he's so epic.
He's skilled in the sword.
He likes to play around.
Yeah. That's why he was so coy about like, oh, you defeated me, but not. I took off my armor. He takes off Silver Chariot's armor for only like once of 2 times in the entire manga.
Pretty much.
I think the anime added it one more time later, but like this is
he doesn't do it again.
Yeah, this is Polnareff's version of the Star Finger. It's twice and done.
Yeah,
there we go.
It's too convenient.
Pretty much, yeah.
If it ever fails, he just stops using it.
Yep. Oh yeah, one more thing about this fight. Joseph firmly moves into Speedwagon's role as commentator and explainer.
Pretty much.
He's the old guy.
Yeah.
Yells.
Yes.
He likes to yell.
Yes. Yelling is my hobby.
So finally, Abdul beats Polnareff, and then Polnareff's like burning to death, and Abdul throws him a knife, saying, "Here, go
Abdul-
ahead and finish yourself off."
Abdul's just packing a blade at all times.
Always, you gotta when you're being chased by enemy stands.
Yeah, that's gonna do everything. It's gonna help.
And so Polnareff grabs the knife, and he's thinking, "I could throw this at Abdul, or I could
Kill
stab
him.
myself. But I'm not gonna do either because I'm too good for that. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
burn to death."
Yeah,
Abdul puts
and
out the fire, saying, "Hey, you're actually a nice guy. That's fine."
they find a
Yay.
flesh bud on him and they pull it out.
Pull it out, and you get a good Jost Turo face.
Yes.
He's
He
like,
makes
"Happy, I get to do the thing.
Yay!
Get to do the thing."
I got
I
that
think
other thing.
it's like his kink or something. He likes feeling the flesh going like under his flesh. It's good.
Yes.
He loves it.
You went
This
there.
is
Okay.
this is the only thing that gives me joy.
Other than that, I'm just rude and mean to everyone.
Yeah.
So then they decide, well, we can't fly planes because we got Joseph with us. Let's take a boat.
Yeah. That nobody thinks like let's just get a private plane from the Speedwagon Foundation.
And now that Polnareff doesn't have the flesh, but his hair turns into even more of a pillar.
Yes. He is the true pillar man.
The true pillar man.
Yeah.
He's got
and
the
we
right
get
build.
and
we
yeah,
get-
Polnareff shows up and we get his backstory.
It's a butt.
Hmm.
A butt?
Which I think
my.
Jay Guile, or the man with two right hands, whatever we're gonna call him right now,
We can just call him
kept the
Jay
long
Guile.
hair. He should have kept the long hair. He looked better with it.
Yeah, he looks like a evil potato thumb in the regular appearance.
I know, but he had like this crazy hair. At least that could have done something for him.
He also has a rain shield, which is how Polnareff knows he's a stand user. And
Which I think is really weird because that's a lot of work for Hanged Man.
yeah,
Constantly
And
reflecting raindrops so they don't fall on him while he does his weird walking pose.
the anime adds the rain shield again when Polnareff first like sees him walking around with Whole Horse.
Interesting.
yeah,
I think is.
In the
I don't know
manga,
how
it
he's
never
doing
shows
that
up
if there's
again.
no rain.
That's true, yeah.
He's not reflecting raindrops off of him. What is he doing? The dust? The dust does not catch a reflection.
Don't think about it.
Yeah, don't question it. Just like
Bold
don't
of
question.
you to assume I think.
Don't question it. Just like don't question why Dio has a random pet parrot.
Yeah, I know, right?
In the anime, it's Pet Shop. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is Pet Shop, which makes more sense than a parrot.
Yeah. Maybe he just
Right,
got
'cause this
real.
parrot originally supposed to be Pet Shop?
Maybe he just got really into Treasure Island.
What if it's not a parrot and it's a transfigured human like he did in part 1?
That would
Scott.
be messed up.
Yeah,
What's it got that's not a parrot?
it's a guy.
It's also weird because it looks like it's a robot parrot in what I'm
What?
reading right now.
When did
kinda.
Phantom
Kind of like the owl from Clash of the Titans.
when did
parrot,
Phantom Blood take place? 1880.
18, yeah, like 80 something, 85.
Was it 88? 1880. I don't know, but
No, I think it was 1880.
I forget. I'm just gonna say that headcanon that Dio has a parrot because back in 1880 whatever he got really into the book Treasure Island.
Yes.
I can finally
accept
own a
that.
parrot.
Oh, a parrot.
Or what if he
I
just
always wanted
what if,
to be a pirate.
what if he got into it after he came back?
Maybe he had 4 years to do
Yeah.
whatever.
What else would he
Yeah.
be doing?
I mean, in a later part, we see him making model ships, so you never know. He was just really into pirates.
He likes
You spend so much time in the ocean, you'll learn to love it.
Honestly, yeah. It's like you can't hide it. You might as well embrace it. You know.
Yeah,
Wouldn't
pretty
it
much.
be the other way around? You
No.
just get sick of it.
No.
Damn.
No.
I guess I'm wrong.
Nice.
Yeah.
The ocean is love. The ocean is life.
Yeah.
So Polnareff decides to join them, and they get on a boat.
To the ocean, yes. And it's
Yes,
our
where they're going.
introduction to Anne, a temporary child tag along role that she's filling, taking over from Poco and Smokey.
My boy Smokey.
Yes, Smokeadelic, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
yes. Anne's chilling.
Anne's chilling. Until Anne decides to jump into the ocean.
Yeah. And there's
then
sharks. So
A
it's kind of a
shark
stupid
comes
move.
up.
Start
and
Platinum punches shark.
Punch my shark. I just made a Despicable Me reference and I hate it.
Nice.
So anyway, after this ordeal with the shark, Jotaro decides, after finding out that Anne is a girl,
By
Somehow
patting her down.
he pulls a
Oh, yeah.
Goku.
he's like, he's grabbing her because he wants to, like, rescue her, and he's like, oh, whoa, you are a girl.
Damn.
And then-
Somehow she's like 12. What's he feeling?
Honest. Well, I don't know, but
Well,
Did you get 2 mosquito? Oh.
in the very
Oh.
tasteful scene where she's naked, you could see. No.
okay, well, let's not get there until we get
Yeah.
there, because the shark
I'll-
just got cut in half,
Dang.
and we see a really imposing
Silhouette.
silhouette, which gives us another horror reference, because this is a creature from the Black Lagoon, the
Nice.
whole Gillman thing. I like that the first 7 or so stand users can all be tied back to, like, a monster of sorts, even like Dio. Like the first parts up until they reach Enya, you could clearly say, oh yeah, we have a mummy. Enya herself has like Wolfman references, stuff like that.
A
And this is
cowboy,
definitely-
the most monstrous.
I know. But now we have the shark getting killed.
Where's the Sharknado stand?
Sharknado. Stand.
Oh my god.
Jubilee meets Crash.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah.
And I
Dark Blue Moon is another one of the scant animal-looking stands. I really like it. It's got
like
big.
that.
It's got a big Venus flytrap mouth, but I like that too,
He-
kinda.
That's what I don't like about him, because he looks so more imposing, like when he's underwater. But then you have this like, and I think the anime really adds how stupid it looks. His stupid like derpy face, like my head's like a plate. I'm a fish man.
Yeah.
Right. But we also get a tarot reference from Dark Blue Moon, which is again the reversed version, which is release of fear, repressed emotions, and inner confusion, which kind of works because Dark Blue Moon's user is an imposter.
Yeah, and they take a chapter to like figure out who the user was, and they find out that it's like the person who they thought was Captain Tennille, a reference to the band Captain and Tennille.
I like Captain and Tennille because their music is basically let's get it on music for middle-aged people.
Nah.
You know, like the parents on sitcoms. That's what's Captain. And I think this is another where the localized name actually is kind of cute because his localized name is Captain Dragon, which is named after the captain and Tennille's captain.
Daryl
whose name is
Dragon.
Dragon. Yep.
The coolest
Which
name.
sadly they broke up.
Aw.
Daryl and Tennille broke up. I was so sad. I was like, no.
F.
How are the middle-aged people gonna get it on now?
This
They'll
makes
live
me
on in
so
their hearts.
sad. I can't believe it.
I'm almost
It's really weird.
I'm almost as sad as Jotaro when he's told he can't smoke because the
And then
sensors
gets
blacked out his
the-
face.
The cigarette put out on his hat. You
My
know,
God.
it's kind of rude. It's
Yeah.
a very extreme way of doing that.
Yeah. But that's how he jukes the captain into revealing he's the stand user by bluffing that he can cigarette smoke make stand users' noses do something. And when
Yeah.
everybody the captain also goes to touch his nose so they know. Dang.
Yeah, because it makes a vein show up on your nose.
Somehow.
But not actually.
I don't know how that works.
It
And the
doesn't.
captain
It's
makes the best face.
Neither
Yeah,
does
it doesn't-
Jotaro.
It doesn't. It's a bluff.
I love how throughout this entire time, Anne is just like, what the fuck is going on? And like even in like the next couple arcs too, she's just like there and like it's like what is happening?
How
Yeah.
much childhood trauma can we give this girl?
Yeah.
Hold on. Pause. I got.
She still doesn't ever want to leave.
Hold on. Pause. I got. There's a
Okay.
buggus. One sec.
You do that.
Tower of Grey.
Okay, I've returned.
Did you
Nice.
handle it?
Yeah, I took care of the buggus.
Nice.
Damn. How
was
could
great.
you
Bye.
you committed murder? You murdered that bug.
I murdered that stand controlling old man.
That's true.
So speaking of stand controlling old men, we get Captain Tennille. He does this really weird thing with his eyes, which I never got.
It's
Before-
intimidating.
Oh
Summoning
yeah.
his stand to kidnap the young girl.
He becomes a delinquent or something. I don't know.
I don't know.
He becomes
He decides that, look, I can
becomes a real-
slightly turn my eyes around.
Ooh.
a real asshole.
Mhm.
Yeah, he dives in. Jotaro grabs the girl and tries to pull her back up, but he's covered in barnacles, and he's pulled
Barnacles.
in. Yeah, he's this stand user is both Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. It seems.
Damn.
True, but
Yeah.
before they can even reach the water, Jotaro beats the crap out of Dark Blue Moon, showing just how fast he is.
Yeah.
The Captain Tennille is just in the water like, oh, you got me, because he has kind of that, kind of persona about him, like, oh, even though I'm losing, I'm still better than you.
Yeah, the fight gets taken underwater, and that helps it stand out. Like a lot of these earlier fights that we're covering make good use of setting, and even if it's like on normal ground, it'll usually be an interesting place. Like we started in like a jail cell fight, then we went to like a school nurse's office, then there was on a plane. On a plane, then the very unique Tiger Balm Gardens. Now we're underwater, and what's coming will be a hotel room, mainly like under a bed. Or wait, before that is on a
Boat.
ship. Yeah, on a boat.
Out. Freighter.
Yeah, after that in the hotel room we have on a cable car straight up.
That segue or whatever.
Yeah. So it's a lot of unique areas early on to help differentiate these fights.
Then an abandoned temple, a canyon, and a hotel room. Another hotel room.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's fun. It's fun. Yeah, and they're straight up underwater. Nobody can really jump in because there's
There's a
razor
whirlpool.
scales and the whirlpool. Yes.
Basically all the terrifying ocean stuff.
Yeah, all that shitty stuff. And how does Jotaro win? With an ass pull, really.
Basically.
Really.
An ass pull that's used immediately again next arc and then never again.
True.
Kind of reminds
What?
me of back when Jonathan was fighting fucking what's his name, Turkor or something, or was it
Tarkus?
Tarkus,
Circus.
the guy who was fighting
Big boy.
underwater. Wait, oh no, Tarkus is the big guy.
is-
Who is the small guy?
Bruford.
Bruford.
Bruford,
When he
yeah.
was fighting Bruford underwater, and then he did like the ripple thing where he like put his ripple into the seabed and it created air bubbles.
That's not what happened.
Is it not?
No, he remembered that this place was a coal town, so he went and grabbed some rocks and moved them because he knows coal has air pockets, and he
Aha.
was able to get some air.
There we go. Same, whatever.
But unlike
It's
that,
cool.
Starfinger is, while cool, it's an ass pull, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get to strength.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
Dio
yeah.
Before
looking.
that,
Oh,
The ship blows up. Yeah,
oh yeah.
Yeah, the ship blows up.
Jotaro
But,
gets his Jotaro gets his greatest one-liner where he talks about how the water is gonna get dirty because the guy's gonna piss himself because he's dying. Very,
Oh
very,
yeah.
very, very witty, Jotaro.
It was
Haha, you're
very good.
dying, and also you're gonna piss your pants. Lol.
It's
Very cool, Jotaro.
not even Jotaro's one-liners can beat what happens first in the next chapter. We get Dio's horrible gun holster dress
Oh yeah.
as he's sitting there talking to Enya.
Dio is drawn really, really well in his like cameos throughout the start. Like you can tell Araki liked having him back.
Yeah, he was definitely building him up.
Mm.
You never
Yeah,
like
and
really see like his face too. Like you kind of just
Yeah,
see him from the side or from the back or whatever.
yeah,
Grounds him in mystery.
Mm-hmm.
even though we know who he is and how he looks,
Yeah.
but it's all
And-
good for building him up.
Yeah.
True.
Speaking of building, speaking of
Say.
building up, the real quick the monster of the
Builder?
week format. It's like helped a tiny bit by knowing some of like who's coming, even if it's just a name, and more so that we know one of them is going to be Jay Guile.
True. 'Cause you get this little conversation between Dio and Enya about, oh, Lord Dio, I've hired all these people, and one of them's my son himself.
Yeah.
I love Enya. She's so good. I'll talk about her a bunch when we get to her arc, but so beware of that. But
Yeah, but first, it's time for Monkey.
Monkey.
The first
Monkey
panel
shows
showing
up.
strength is really good. You know?
Yeah. It's actually, okay, and I'm gonna get another horror reference, but the panel here is based off the poster of the movie Death Ship, which most of the stuff that happens in this arc is based off of. You get the guy who gets his face taken out by the crane. You get the main villain putting on a sailor suit. You get little kids getting attacked and stuff. Not in the same way as this, but still, there's a lot. You could tell very heavy inspiration. And I like the build-up that you don't see strength show up, because it lets you know that later on when you find out what the stand is, it's like this whole battleship's actually like a little dinghy, and it's like expanding real quick just when they approach it. It's kind of has that aura of mystery, and then you can look back and like, oh, that's why they didn't see it coming.
Right, yeah. It's strength is it's a very eerie arc right off the bat. This like especially once we get like the first chapters builds up to the payoff of seeing the first sailor die from the crane, and now you know like
It's his face torn
bam,
off.
this is bad. Like there's definitely something bad going on. But like we're still getting used to stands, and every stand we've seen so far is like, you know, the little ghost. And most of them have been like ghost guys. The idea of like a stand that that even normal people can see, a stand that you can touch and feel, a stand that looks like an inanimate object, even something as big as this, that's not like you're not thinking like that's impossible, it can't be that way when you find out, but like it's not on your mind as a possibility here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're
True.
same with like an animal having a stand. Like it doesn't. If you're told that, once you're told that, it doesn't. You're not like that's impossible, but like you're not thinking of that as an actual possibility when we first see the orangutan, who is not given a name in the manga proper, but bonus material later says its name is Forever.
Named after Wu-Tang Forever, but the album actually didn't come out until after this chapter was over.
Right. It's like
So it was definitely a very post name.
yeah, it's a retroactive name and reference. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to point out that there's a panel where like the stairwell shows up like on the ship so they can go up. It
Mhm.
says there's a name on the ship and it's Big Dad with 2 D's.
It does, yeah.
Big Daddy.
Big
Yeah,
Daddy.
that's probably what it was. Big Daddy.
Big Daddy.
Big Daddy the monkey.
The monkey.
Monkey.
So
Oh, he
yeah,
is a big
so they're
daddy.
on the ship and they're looking around trying to find a user, but no one's there but Forever. And Forever is he's very off the bat shows that he's creepy and also very intelligent. Like he has his apple, he
He's cut it perfectly.
yeah, he has his magazine. He's very a patron of reading.
I only read it for the articles, says Monkey.
He's a good boy.
Yeah,
He's a good boy.
he likes those advertisements. And then he lights a cigarette.
Smoking
know.
Monkey.
Monkey funny. Haha.
He's not taking care of his body. The apple was for nuts.
Very funny monkey.
An apple a day keeps the monkey away.
And so then they tell her, like, well, make sure we don't separate ourselves, little girl, because this ship could still be dangerous. So
Make sure you go shower, little girl.
Yeah, she obviously goes and just decides, well, this seems like a perfect time to shower in this creepy old ship where, no, I don't know these people. I think they're weird. I just almost got killed by an invisible shark.
There's a monkey around. Yeah.
Monkey that I've just been told can rip my arm off if it wanted to.
Yeah, she's been hanging out in the seawater.
Is smoking and reading porn.
Perfect time for a shower.
Yeah, so she does take a shower.
And yet another horror reference in Psycho.
Oh. As well as a horror reference in a movie called Link, starring Terrence Stamp, where a orangutan was hired to play a chimpanzee, and it watches a woman take a shower.
Huh.
Except instead of a woman here, it's a little girl, and
yeah.
Don't
see the need.
Yeah.
I don't see the need.
There's like 3 pages of this that you really don't need.
Yeah, why? I mean,
I think it was just so like caught up in like, oh, this is so creepy. I'm giving it so much build up. It's like that movie I saw without really clicking. Like, maybe I shouldn't be focusing so long on that.
How old is this girl?
I mean, like, it doesn't even have to happen in the first place. But even if he does, like, why spend so much time on it? Why not just say like?
Also, because in between this, we also get the threat because we see like, Forever creep up to the men who are like the sailors who are talking, and then we go to Anne, and then we return, and they're like dead, they're beheaded, they're like hanging all over the place.
Yeah, straight up.
That's enough. Girl was still like not in the shower. Why did we need that? It was creepy enough, so we just added this bit of like unnecessariness.
Yeah,
I just counted it. It's 5 pages. Yeah.
It's it's really just like to up the creepiness and the helplessness, the vulnerability of the victim. But like, I think you're good.
Really?
Yeah.
And he does this a lot, actually, Rocky. He has like 3 real main sequences like this. That's like, we don't need it to go this far, dude.
Like 5 pages is enough for like a short fight. Sorry.
I want to turn it off.
Yeah.
But luckily, Jojo shows up and like smacks the shit out of him with his lock.
Yeah, he just bunks him. It's a really funny like slamming scene in the anime. Like just the way it looks funny.
He's like, "Here's your lock." Wow. Throws it.
I remember when I was watching the anime with Ash. That episode had like fan translation, and I think the exact line was like, "Take your fucking lock."
You stinky dirty ape, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. And so the fight throw down between Jotaro and Monkey.
Yeah, where the monkey summons a propeller or a ceiling fan to go and hit him in the shoulder.
Yeah. Being able to control an entire ship makes for a creative fight, but it also makes me wonder, like, what took them so long? They were searching for the stand user for a long while. You'd think the monkey would have pounced earlier while they were all separated.
Oh, it's also a monkey. Even if this is like a hyper smart monkey, I don't think like. Imagine if this was a human who had this stand. I bet he or she would like go all out with it versus the more.
It's still
monkey can solve a Rubik's Cube, but it's still a monkey. Yeah.
That's fair. It's still a monkey.
I don't
Monkey that
know.
very likes girls, but
The anime,
Uh,
the official translation and the anime say that strength can be seen with the naked eye because it's so strong. 'Cause I guess like the concept of a bound stand was still kind of up in the air.
oh yeah, because you only get like 2 this part.
Yeah, this and Wheel of
Wheel of
Fortune later.
Fortune. Yeah,
Was there?
but strength is actually a
Yeah.
really good stand. I just wish it would be like expanded on because we see the dinghy get turned into a full battleship. What if you had like I don't know, could you turn like a plastic chair into like a throne or something like that?
That's
Or
Dio's
what's the
stand.
full extent of this?
Hmm.
It's interesting. Like they talk about like they say it in like a weird way sometimes, as if as if these stands like aren't tailored to one person, but like they say a few times that like the weaker the user, the stronger the stand. So like a lot of these really strong stands, like strength and like later animal based stands, are like really strong because their users are like more simple minded, I guess.
Yeah, makes sense.
The monkey.
Um,
Okay.
The monkey.
So,
the
anyways,
the monkey got drip. He straight up busts out that white
Yo.
ass sailor suit.
yeah, he's got his pipe. He's got his dictionary, which is probably one of my favorite um jokes in the anime, which is just strength. It stands for force, energy, power, aid, and then it's like goes all the way down to like the bottom. The 8th card of the tarot represents challenge, strong will, and hidden powers.
What kind of fucking dictionary is this? That straight up
Monkey
has like
one.
a full paragraph explaining like what it's also a tarot card. Yeah, the monkey wrote the dictionary.
It's the tarot
But
card dictionary.
okay, so you also get the since he's the reverse tarot of this, his is inner strength, self doubt, low energy, and raw emotion. Which you
And
get
looking at
because
girls shower.
I know, like he's definitely not thinking. He's not taking into consideration. He solves his Rubik's cube, but you can solve Rubik's cubes and still be a dumbass.
Well, he
Yeah.
is thinking. He's just thinking about little girls showering. That's it.
Yeah.
That's not cool, man. But so,
Ca- ca-
anyways,
At least the monkey's dead.
True.
True.
Jotaro kills him, and we don't have to worry about that anymore. He beats him
Yeah.
to death.
I love the
Tells him
moment.
his whole.
Well, he star fingers him to death. The second and
Oh.
final usage.
No, he doesn't kill him with Starfinger. He shoots the button into his forehead, making him
Oh,
let
yeah.
go of him, and then he beats him to death, saying the whole, "You're going against the laws of the jungle by doing this."
You're
then
going
he-
against monkey society.
And the monkey's just like dead.
Yeah.
Then they
The
go away, and it realizes that it was a dinghy the whole time.
Yeah. This is as good a time to say that like the manga is better than the anime at making things feel less episodic, because a lot of the arcs actually will flow into each other over the course of a chapter. Like
Oh.
strength sinks at the start of the Devil Part 1.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where in the anime things are really just kept self-contained to each
Mhm.
stand user.
Yeah, definitely. It feels more like they're like contained to each themselves, aside from moving out to other parts.
Hmm. Yeah. So we're moving into the next short little arc, Ebony Devil.
Yeah, they go into Singapore.
Yeah.
Yay.
Singapore.
Polnareff messes with a cop. That's
Yeah,
funny, and then he
because
goes
the
to
cop thinks that his suitcase is garbage.
fun.
White bag.
He's
Mhm.
like, damn, why did you leave this garbage on the floor?
Yeah. You're a little litterer, aren't you? Oh, you're a bed boy. Yeah. Anne's still hanging out with them. That's also important.
Yeah, because they think that she's going to go see her dad, but you know she's lying.
Yeah.
She's just
It's a
chilling.
it's a funny interaction where they like agree to like take her to the hotel with them to like be nice about it, and like Joseph tells like Polnareff, get her to come along, but like don't try and hurt her pride. But Polnareff's just straight
Be
up like,
nice about it.
yeah, Polnareff's just straight up like, you're broke as shit. Come on.
So then Polnareff goes to his hotel room where he immediately, when I see the creepy doll sitting on my
Yeah.
nightstand, I am putting it somewhere. I'm deciding, nope, this is not for me.
Oh, this is normal hotel decoration. Creepy doll.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, some like hotel paintings are weird, but like you put a creepy doll on the nightstand, no, it's going away.
they probably didn't notice it. He like immediately realized there was a stand user because Devo was hiding in the fridge, but as Polnareff points out, he forgot to like hide all the drinks he took out of the fridge and just kind of left them sitting there.
So
Also, notice it's like a Native American doll, and then like later, Joseph specifically tells him that this guy is Native American.
no,
And
Abdul tells Joseph this. Polnareff doesn't hear this.
oh, does he not?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Okay.
Abdul telling Joseph.
Okay.
But anyway, so you get Devo, who's like 6, 7 feet tall, but he's in the mini fridge, and he immediately introduces himself as Devo the Curse. So you know he spends too much time on 4chan.
And it's only we literally only see it for a single panel, but Ebony Devil is so creepy looking. It's so
It's
alien.
like an alien.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. I wish we actually saw it do something.
It's been cool because it has like a ceremonial dagger and shields and stuff, but instantly Devo gets like stabbed in the face. And oh yeah, I meant to say this. Devo is named after the band. You know the whole
Yeah,
if the
Devo.
problem comes along, you must whip it.
It's a dead man's party.
That's Boingo Boingo.
Same thing. Same thing.
Different. But anyways, this is also a horror reference because you know Ebony Devil has two references. First, you get obviously Child's Play, which is the Chucky movie.
Yeah.
With Devo now getting attacked like this is very reminiscent of the opening of Child's Play when the guy who possesses Chucky, you know, he gets shot down. He does like his little "Give me the power, I beg of you" spiel before cursing the cops, saying "I'll get you, you asshole" or whatnot. But
Right.
the other being the doll itself and the way it attacks and the way it like does stuff is very reminiscent of a movie called Trilogy of Terror, specifically the third segment because it's an anthology called I forget, but there's this woman in her apartment and her boyfriend or her fiance or whatnot is like a professor of anthropology, so she buys him a Zuni fetish doll, which she accidentally brings to life and it's attacking her.
Does it cut
Like-
off a face?
No, but it like bites her heels and it does all kinds of shit, and it even like grabs like a straight razor at one point, and the little spear, just like it does here.
Neat.
So
Neat.
anyway, so Devo, he's like, "Oh, I hate you so much, Polnareff. You're like the worst." And then he falls out the balcony,
Fuck you.
and then you get like the really weird added bonus that at one point his Polnareff's Achilles tendon got split, and he bandages it up with his used underwear.
Yeah, I don't know why.
And a little detail from Iraqi that was kind of like, yeah, man, that you didn't need that.
Well, because
So he calls Abdul.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Calls up Abdul, tells him about it. Calls up room service for some medicine, and that's when some scampering starts happening.
Mm-hmm. You even see like the doll. He's laying under the bed, and he's got like the little shaving blade in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
And Devo's name actually had to be changed to Soul Sacrifice, which is a Santana song.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Santana didn't get to stay, but its song did.
Weird.
I know.
Yeah, and Polnareff ends up strapped to the underside of the bed.
Okay.
Yeah. I think Silver Chariot is the only humanoid stand that's like confirmed the user can't see through it. At least like it's the only time it's the only time it's ever like come up concerning one.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if Sticky Fingers can be like seen through its eyes because it doesn't have eyes. But that's part 5. Who cares? Yeah.
But then we get Abdul tells Joseph about Devo's deal, saying he's he's I don't remember if they say he is Native American or
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, they say that.
Yeah,
Which is actually kind of interesting because you never really see that in anime of Native Americans.
It's not, yeah, but it's not like
Not good
Diva's.
representation, though.
Yeah,
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 but it's still interesting that Araki thought it. But yeah, it's not good representation.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, whatever.
But anyway, so he talks about how the people who Devo goes after, it's like it was a curse. They don't ever. There's no fingerprints, nothing. They just end up dead.
Mm.
And we figure out that it's because the little doll's running around, and it gets around for like being only like 2 feet tall and having no muscles or anything.
He's scampering around like. He's
Yeah. This is
scampering.
yeah, and he ties Polnareff to the bed.
Polnareff gets all sorts of fucked up in this fight. Like I can see why Araki had like a designated healer or healing plot device in every part after. Gotta explain how the characters heal from all this between arcs.
They all get fucked
Yeah.
up like so much, and like not a lot
Yeah.
of time passes, but it's just somehow healed up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Stuff that should take 50 days to heal all on its own is just like, okay, they're all better.
Shonen logic.
Yeah.
But this also has something interesting specific to the dub. Devo's one of them, Tower of Grey is one of them, and later on Lovers is one of them, where usually the stand and the user have the same voice actor. That's not the case with those three, which I always thought was really weird. But the same guy voices the doll, they voice Tower of Grey, and they voice the Lover's voice. It's the same like, little dude.
Jotaro and Star Platinum didn't have the same voice in the early part of the dub.
Yeah, but then they eventually changed it too, so I guess that's why.
They went back They went back and forth with it though. Like it started as Star Platinum was Patrick Seitz, but then they slowly made it Matt Mercer. But I remember like it was Matt Mercer, I think, for Dark Blue Moon, but then it was back to Patrick Seitz for Strength, if I'm remembering right.
Yeah, and Yellow Temperance is also Patrick Seitz.
When does Star Platinum talk? I never saw that.
It says
Yeah.
Oh,
it says Aura.
That's true.
It's literally all it says.
Yeah.
Aura.
That's good. That's gotta be a really easy voice acting job right there.
It actually is not because it's so fast they have to do it.
Yeah, you gotta
really
listen.
Irritating.
That's true.
You gotta listen to how fast some of these fuckers go.
Sure. So, anyways,
they fight.
No, go ahead.
Nah, I was just saying they fight.
Oh yeah, they fight, and Devo turns out to be like, the doll more likely. It's kind of a little asshole. It's like talking about like, I'm gonna bite your dick off, or I wish I could piss all over you with the rest of this.
A lot of these stand users just like vulgar just for the fun of it, I guess.
Yeah, like both Devo and Rubber Soul, the next guy, are both like unnecessarily vulgar.
Yeah, Jay Guile too.
Oh, not as much, because like Jay Guile, he's like kind of taunting him, but he never like brings up like bodily fluids or nothing.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Then we have the guy who's probably having like the worst day ever. The room service guy.
Well, dies.
His face cut off. Yeah. Which is actually really done in the anime, because it's like happens in less than like 2 seconds. The puppet runs over, slices off his face, drags his body in, slams the door, and puts on the "Do Not Disturb" sign.
And that's never mentioned again.
Beautiful.
In the anime, Polnareff actually gets arrested. They think he did it, and Joseph has to post his bail.
We really?
Oh, because of the Speedwagon Foundation, yeah.
I see.
But luckily, before that happens, he notices, even though he's under the bed, he breaks a mirror so that Silver Cherry could see Ebony Devil jumping around the place, and then impales his head and then slices it all up.
He slices everything except his dick, notably.
True. And then you get the other hotel staff who's having a bad day who finds Devo all cut up in the bathroom.
Straight up eviscerated corpse, yeah.
And he's like, sir, you've been in here a while. Are you doing okay? Probably not.
No.
No.
He's good. He's good.
Yeah.
No need to.
He's dead.
No,
good.
Nothing wrong. It's good.
Yeah. And that's Ebony Devil, and now we move on to Yellow Temperance.
I like Ebony Devil, but I can definitely tell why people don't.
Yeah.
Then again, trashy arcs. I think the suspense is real, but it's kind of silly.
It is, yeah, but it's kind of like
like
Tower of Grey in that, like, it's Polnareff's first fight as a good guy. We gotta give him something. But
Yeah,
like
really...
otherwise, like in the terms of like the story, it's really just like, oh, taking care of another tarot card.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Yellow Temperance is a bit more fun, I think.
I like how at the end of Ebony Devil, like the last couple panels when Polnareff finally like shows up in the the other hotel room where everyone's waiting for him. They're like, "Damn, look who finally showed up. We have to talk about how we're gonna defeat Devo." And Polnareff is just like fucking bleeding everywhere. He already defeated him, and they're all just like, "What the hell?"
Do you not see this?
It's so good.
He says, "I'm exhausted," and then he just like falls on the ground.
Yeah. Fucking good.
I guess in the manga he's still on the ground in the next like scene where they're decided to use Hermit Purple on the TV.
Yeah.
I'm dying. Hold on. I gotta watch television. I gotta check my stories. I've seen it before, but if Godfather's on, you just gotta watch.
They're doing a Tom Petty documentary on MTV.
Yeah. Doraemon's on.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Anime has to cut out a lot of these, but like in the manga, you do see like
Pet Cemetery.
Yeah, Pet Cemetery, Doraemon, The Godfather.
Something about Tom Petty.
Yeah.
And then Dio.
Yeah.
Pointing.
The TV reading is cool. Sad we never really see it much again, but like there's an obvious reason why, since Dio psychically blows it up somehow.
After tricking him.
Yeah. Funny.
True.
Yeah.
So then we move to the next scene, which
they find out
but Coconut Man says no.
Well, first we find out that somebody in this group is sus.
It's said
Kakyoin. Kakyoin may be the imposter.
Among Us, there was a traitor.
Yeah.
Oh my
Fungus
god.
among us will lead us to victory.
There's Mungus here.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, they're off buying coconuts.
Yeah.
Coconut. And yeah, Kakyoin fake Kakyoin gets his wallet stolen, and he acts like a real asshole. But like, it's at least convincing seeing fake Kakyoin use what looks to be Hierophant green, but like the way it crawls on the ground and how like nobody's looking its direction, like because others would be able to see Yellow Temperance. It's a good clue that like it's false too, even though it's on the outside it looks like confirmation that it's the real deal.
Yeah, and Kakyoin beats the crap out of this guy.
Yeah, he talks about wiping his asshole or something.
Yeah, he's like, "You freaking cockroach, you slime. Do I look like easy pickings to you?" And then he like snaps his neck.
You took my wallet with the same hand you touch your asshole with.
I mean, that's like a really mean thing to say, but he did steal his wallet, even though you should never do this to anyone, but...
Yeah. And to be fair, that guy probably does wipe his asshole.
Are you so sure about that? Are you sure he doesn't have a pig lick it for him?
Oh, that's true.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the guy. This is the owner of that restaurant. Yeah. The continuity. It's all here. Yeah.
Anyway, so
he picks wallets as a hobby.
Maybe, you never know. Like, I mean, Kakyoin does get his wallet stolen in India, so.
Oh yeah. He struck again.
Yeah. It's the guy.
So then we get homoerotic confrontation between Jotaro and fake Kakyoin.
Jotaro got ice cream. He's just standing there with an ice cream cone. Very
like,
tough guy image.
What are you doing?
Yeah, and Kakyoin takes his cherry and almost pushes Jotaro over the railing, killing him, but he doesn't.
He
And then he starts
also
licking the cherry.
just eats a bunch of stag beetles.
Oh yeah,
Sure he does. I forgot about that. That is
It's
weird.
like Kakuin is being
And-
mad sus here. I'm just like,
Yeah.
what is going on with this guy?
Even Anne is like, what's going on? What are you doing? And he's like, I love Emperor Beetles. And she's like, that's cool, buddy. Let's go.
I
Very
mean,
cool, Kanye.
coconuts.
Okay, nuts. Very cool, Kanye. Let's go. But
Yeah.
again, with
Red-
the tarot trivia, Yellow
is sus.
Temperance here.
Red is sus.
Yeah. But the Temperance Tarot, this is a reverse with imbalance, excess, self-healing, and realignment.
Makes sense.
But actually, it's funny because Araki's version of Temperance, you can see its nipples. Yeah, that's what Ezra noticed.
Nice.
Yeah, she's holding her water jugs
Nice.
while her other jugs are out. But yeah, let's go. So
Yeah.
Jotaro is fed up with Kakuin's BS. He almost got pushed off the ledge, and now he stole his cherry and was licking it up. No, because it's only that. Actually, funny enough, this was the first scene of JoJo I've ever seen.
The cherry looking scene.
Yeah, because it was on there was this old show, like, you know, The Soup with Joel McHale.
I've heard of it.
Nope.
Okay, so like there's another like spin-off called the Will Wheaton Project, where Will Wheaton would just like watch like clips of like Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff and talk about them and make stupid jokes. But one of them was a clip from JoJo of the Kakuin cherry looking scene, and that
Yeah.
just stuck with me.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll never forget.
Yeah. So. Yeah, I'll never forget that because I was like, "Whoa, that's really weird." But it was really funny. So then Jotaro doesn't think it's as funny as I did, so he punches Kakuin, and his mouth
Dang.
splits open.
Rude.
I know, and then he's like, "Jotaro, why'd you do that to me?" Yeah, he's got like
He's not-
5 tongues now.
He's not a great actor. I've never
No,
seen.
he's
that.
not.
At
No,
least
but,
he's getting big for some
Herbert
reason.
earned his paycheck for that.
Mm.
I think I pronounced that right. I don't know.
Say a bear. Hey,
Oh.
hey,
I
Hey,
always
Bear.
thought, but I always read it Herbert at first, so I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Kyle. You're never gonna watch this.
he's our first subscriber. What are you talking about?
Really. So now we got Big Kakuin, whose head explodes and reveals that he's
Big
kind
cock. Yui.
we are children. But we get kind of this weird looking guy.
Is it-
He's
he's
not
no,
weird.
he's handsome.
He's a good guy.
Handsome. He's
Yeah,
handsome.
he's-
Remember?
He's handsome, but he's not the best looking.
He's weird handsome.
Yeah,
He
looks
is,
like,
yeah.
He looks like a Renaissance painting.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And yeah, his stand is goop.
Yeah, despite his very handsome face, he's very gross.
It's very goopy.
You know, he blows his nose. He's like, "Oh, you gotta get that earwax out of your ear. Quit picking your ass and stuff." You know.
Very vulgar. Yeah. He's a
And
real douche.
He's got arguably the worst stand in the series, in my opinion, because I really hate slime monsters. No, I don't
What?
like the blob, which this was based off of.
Right.
I don't like primer and none of that.
I think it's a little bit more interesting than just like a standard slime monster, but like I get what you mean.
I just
It's
don't
in-
like blob monsters in general.
Yeah.
It's I think I like it, but it's kind of plain compared to other stands, but yeah, it's unique, it's memorable, and it's pretty dang strong. Like you can't touch it because it'll just kind of eat away at you.
I
Fire.
wasn't saying it was a bad stand. I was just saying I don't personally like it because it freaks me out.
Right.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. So yeah, burning it doesn't work. Popsicles don't work.
I know he just steals
Popsicles.
that kid's popsicle and he never like gives it back. He's never like,
You
"Oh,
promised.
I'll buy you a new one," but he doesn't. He jumps out of the. He
Yeah.
breaks his promise by helping out.
Yeah.
A similar thing happens later where I think it's like Polnareff is like, yeah, I'll just buy you like some chocolate later, kid, or something like
Some
that.
caramel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Promises
yeah,
a kid caramel.
yeah, and then he defaults on it.
So we also get our first dog death of Stardust Crusaders with poor Pocky,
Oh no.
dog who gets beheaded, gets his
It
head
got
ripped off.
it got assimilated into his random booby lady disguise,
I know,
Her
and she just sits
boobies.
there squeezing it. Yeah, you're like,
squeezing her tits. Yeah,
look what I got, Jotaro. Check him out.
I filled up these melons with dog.
Yep. Then she blows her nose again. So
Yeah,
and is
some
like
reason.
yelling at him for stealing popsicles.
This is a weird guy, and Jotaro thinks he's weird too, which is why he finally employs the the return of the Joestar secret technique. Run away.
Run.
It's secret. Nobody knows about it.
Yeah.
And luckily, the dad and the kid don't fall through the bottom of the tram car after they do this.
They just
Yeah.
barely
That's like
survive.
another bad day for them alongside the guy, the janitor who found Devo.
Yeah. Not a great day in Singapore.
No, everyone's just having it rough.
Yeah. Yeah, and they
Anyways,
fall in the water, and
Water.
Jotaro uses the guy coming out to catch his breath as a chance to beat his head in.
but I agree. In this one panel of a rubber soul poking his head out of the water, he does look very handsome when he's trying to get air.
Yeah.
Doesn't stay
Looks
that way.
like he looks like a wood block carving.
He does.
Nice.
He's all like angular and stuff.
Yeah, he's like, it's like a Black Clover character.
Nice.
Anyways, Jotaro starts beating the crap out of him.
Yeah, Rubber Soul tries to get out of it by like giving up info, and he lists some like stand users that are coming, and he lists mostly the same ones that Enya had mentioned before, like the ones remaining, but instead of Wheel of Fortune, he mentions Death.
Yeah.
I don't know
Weird.
why. Yeah. I don't know if Araki changed his mind and then changed it back, or if it was just a mistake that never got corrected even in the anime.
That's
weird.
So anyways,
Strange.
Oh yeah, and Jay Guile is built up by Rubber Soul too. That like he talks about like, oh yeah, I know that he's the one that killed Polnareff's sister. He's on his way too. I think that makes him our first like stand user encounter with some actual build up to him that we're about to face.
True, but he doesn't say what the stand does. He just says that it's the Hanged Man. That's Jay Giles.
Yeah, but like knowing something about an enemy before we get it is like a new thing so far, really.
Yeah, it definitely is. But before we can do that, Rubber Soul, he's a sneaky boy who slowly moves over to the wall and puts Yellow Temperance down the drain pipe. So that'll go along the drain and shoot out at Jotaro.
Yeah. But Jotaro, he's fine. He works it out.
Our boy, I don't actually know what he does. He like punches the water into the pipe, and the force of it blows Yellow Temperance out of it. Rubber Soul out with the drain, the manhole cover.
Something right like that. He tries to weasel it out again, but Jotaro doesn't let him, and he gives him I think it's our first real like beatdown into a fight from Jotaro, which will become his thing in the future. And he really deserves it. So it's like it's a good way first seeing that kind of.
Yeah, and it's funny because it's a Japanese dub exclusive thing of the anime. But while he's doing this, you can hear Rubber Soul saying "Stop." Don't do that it doesn't happen in the dub or in the manga, but you just get that little "Stop."
Nice.
Yeah, actually, really funny.
Mm.
But then we get the infamous real Kakyoin is sitting on the train and he licks up the cherry like the other.
Yeah,
the fake Kakyoin did, and Jotaro just looks at him like, "Oh my gosh, stop that!"
you're gonna give me a fucking heart attack. Just cut it out. Yeah,
He
and
loves
also on the
cherries.
train, we see Anne's following them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Kakyoin loves cherries. He's got those earrings.
Yeah,
Cherry boy.
it's the
Oh
first
man, those
sign
cherry
that
boy.
Anne kind of has feelings for Jotaro because she's sleeping and she says, "Jojo."
A little precocious
Oh,
crush.
I didn't even see that. I just thought those were more Z's. Wow.
Zozo.
Hey, Zozo.
Dang.
Zozo's Bizarre Journey.
His strange quest.
Strange quest.
Yeah. Yeah, so they finally make it to India. And I guess Araki wasn't a fan. Or maybe it's just for the sake of the joke. But like,
Definitely
Yeah.
wasn't, because it's not fun to read. Like, you see
Yeah.
all people surrounding them. You see, like, cows pooping. You see this guy with, like, a lot of eggs, and he's on a moped begging, like, "Oh, hey, I'll carry your bags. I'll do this." And it's like, Araki, really?
I think it was specifically for the joke, but like, man, that's not
based on
necessary.
like stuff I've seen, it seems a little bit like, you know, stuff I've read in books and stuff. It seems like this is probably something Araki experienced himself, and he thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah, because I've seen,
Probably.
like, other travel documentaries where a guide gets, like, similar situations, but this is kind of, like, overplayed. But yeah, probably for
Yeah, it is.
Araki's joke. Like,
Yeah,
he's
it
being,
is.
like, mean to India itself.
Yeah, it really is just kind of like for the joke of like even if it was for the joke, we still get more kind of jokes at India's expense, like the toilet stuff.
But
Yeah.
even at the end of this arc with the Empress arc, you get kind of like a, man, I'm kind of gonna miss India. Like, it's so quiet now. Which,
Yeah.
yeah, it's still mean, but
Oh well.
oh well. But
It,
that's okay because they go to the restaurant.
yeah, they go to a nice little restaurant, and Polnareff has himself a little toilet escapade.
Yeah, with the creepy guide.
Talking about how the pig can lick your asshole clean.
Yeah, because the
Oh
pig
my
just shows
God.
its head out the toilet bowl.
This
Like,
caught me.
hey,
This really caught me by surprise. I
me
was like,
too.
there's a fucking pig in there and it's eating shit? What the fuck?
Pretty much. And then you get the guy who's just sitting there like, oh, he's quite friendly, and then he's like giggling like, oh, it's fun.
Yeah.
He's like, our boss says it's even better if you let the pig lick your ass clean. It's like, what?
Yeah, and he has like a weird little laugh, like.
Then he
Yeah,
walks
the
away.
racist laugh.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
And
And then we move on to the like the actual meat of the arc. Hangman shows up.
Oh, Hangman is like the creepiest design in part 3.
Oh hell yeah! It's definitely
Definitely like the mummy.
yeah.
It's like cyborg.
It's obviously like a mummy, but like I read in I got the Jojoniums right here. I read in the little interview at the back of volume 3 that like Hanged Man was obviously supposed to be a mummy, but like it was also like something of a merman apparently.
I can see it because I can see like it crawling on the floor as like, you know, those the fake mermaids that they have, like who are like monkey, like decayed zombified monkeys attached to fishtails.
Yeah, and it's got like his skin looks kind of like scaly, I guess. A little like it doesn't look like human skin, I think.
At least not in the manga, because in the anime his skin is like tannish.
It's not really scaly, it's just like cracked and shit.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's
weird.
It's weird, but it's a good design.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a very creepy and unsettling design, especially when you see it crawling.
Oh yeah, and like the horror of like it's not actually there, but it is there.
Yeah, you can't like fight it.
Mm.
At least not now. You can't.
Can't.
It
It's not.
slowly creeps up on you.
Yeah, and yeah, this encounter with Hangman is what causes Polnareff to temporarily splinter off from the group. Goes to try and fight this thing on his own. Find him. Avdol tells him he shouldn't, but he does. F.
F's indeed.
And that leads us to our introduction for the second antagonist of this arc, Whole Horse.
Named after Hall & Oates.
Is it? I thought it was named after Full Force, the band.
Force?
Full
It's
Force.
kind of a little bit of both. It's kind of like some polymerization.
Yeah.
But it's fun that Whole Horse, the Emperor, and Jay Gao, the Hanged Man, are working together because the tarot cards are actually connected by typically how they're drawn. So you see Hanged Man, it's hanging upside down with its left leg is being dangled with its right leg with its foot connected to the knee to make a 4.
It's like the same kind of like pose that Jay Guile is in at the end of the fight.
Yeah, but the Emperor card is typically drawn like the same way, but reversed, with the king on his throne, with his legs doing the same thing. They're connected.
Ah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, it is how Jay Guile dies at the end. And Jay Guile is named after the Jay Guile band, and localized his name is Centerfold, which is a song, the na 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 na.
Yeah.
But actually, in like the Korean versions, it also even that had to be changed because Centerfold is typically seen as like the center of a porno magazine. What Forever was reading of the full body of the woman. So I don't know what they changed it to, but they did have to change it and certain like dubs.
Interesting. Huh. Yeah. So this is Hole's introduction. Quite the dynamic entry, riding in on a fucking elephant.
Yeah, with Nena on his back.
Yeah. Araki loves westerns. He based Jotaro, like personality-wise, off of like Clint Eastwood, his movies.
He actually met Clint Eastwood, and Clint Eastwood did the Jojo pose. It was cute. I've never seen Clint Eastwood so happy. Not one of those people you see smiling too much, so when you do see it, it's kind of nice.
Yeah. And like, even if it's just an act, the little speech Whole Horse gives about being like a drifter is like very clearly like his little love letter to westerns. That's definitely the kind of stuff you'd see. This whole scene is definitely like a send up to a lot of like westerns Araki probably watched. You also got a little it's also a useful setup for next arc with Empress.
Yeah.
He's a loner, and a loner's got to be left alone.
Yeah.
So they meet. He meets with Jay Guile, and they kind of have a little
talk about
romance where they kill a snake.
Yes.
Yeah. That was kind of weird how they just both worked together to kill the snake.
It was that stand showcase.
It's like a little stand showcase.
Yeah. It was just
with
weird.
The most OP stand of gun.
Yep.
Emperor.
Yeah.
Another stand that would be great if the user wasn't such a dumbass.
Yeah.
That's that's a good lead into something. Dylan, you may not actually know this since you're a new reader, but like Araki actually toyed with the idea of having Whole Horse become a good guy at some point.
Yeah, he was actually he was on one of the cover pages later on. So
yeah, during Justice, he
yeah,
was on like a color spread alongside the Crusaders. Yeah.
Yeah, so I thought he was actually going to be a good guy, but you just spoiled that it didn't happen because I thought it was gonna happen the next like after. So fuck you, Mike.
Oopsie, sorry.
Damn it.
But yeah, part of why that didn't happen, like Araki thought about, was that the stand was it was too strong for a good guy, and like that's true, and like B, the personality kind of overlapped a bit too much with Polnareff. And but I think the gun it's a bit too much for like a good guy to have. Later gunner stands like Sex Pistols and Manhattan Transfer and Tusk are more well-rounded and like limitations.
Sex Pistols?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. One of my favorite stands overall.
It's fun.
It sounds fun.
Yeah. But so Polnareff, he's looking around for Jagal, and eventually he stumbles upon an old man who says, "Yeah, I saw someone with 2 right hands. He was standing with that cowboy over there." And you get a little talk down between Whole Horse and Polnareff.
Yeah.
Says it to laugh off.
Yeah, this is it's fun. We get this fun little stare down between Hall and Polnareff. We got the famous line of like, "Your sword can't beat my gun." What? You want me to beat your bum?
What?
Classic.
Got him.
I can't believe it.
Got him.
Hole versus pole.
Hold the pole, can you
Yeah,
hear
so
me?
then they just start laughing, and then all of a sudden they're like into the fight. That was pretty
I'm
cool.
gonna kill you.
Yeah.
You
And
fucking kill you. It's like that.
so Whole Horse shoots Polnareff, but Polnareff's like, haha, I'll just take off my armor and I'll like cut the bullet in half, but it doesn't work because turns out the Whole Horse can manipulate where the bullets go and like maneuver them.
Second and last time the armor comes off.
Yeah. And then Polnareff was like literally about to fucking die. And then
But
Abdul jumps
Abdul
in.
saves him.
Yeah. He does
What a bro.
He does a rescue.
What a bro.
And he tells him, Polnareff, this is why you should have ran off because you're stupid and these guys are about to kill you. And so Polnareff, of course, isn't listening because he is still trying to go after Whole Horse, but then Abdul, he gets stabbed in the back by Hanged Man and then shot in the forehead by Whole Horse.
Dead.
Yep, he's definitely dead. There's no memes about him anymore. There's no yes I am.
That's right.
He's gone forever. I can't believe it.
Since you've been
Dead and gone.
I
Bye
can't
bye.
believe I'll never see Magician's Red again. The coolest
Bye,
sad.
bye, bye.
Those hot abs.
No.
Those
So
feathers.
then Kakyoin shows up.
Yeah. Avdol's death is really well done. They give it a lot of time to just breathe and be dramatic. You know right away this is the real deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
especially when Kakyoin is so like torn up about it.
I like did a double take when it happened. I was like, "Damn, he's dying already." I think I knew that he was gonna die, but like, I didn't expect it to be this early into part 3.
It was Araki wanted to like keep things mixed up. That's what he said. He wanted to make sure people didn't feel too safe and like, oh, the heroes will just get out of it.
Yeah, definitely.
It's got to be
So,
some
and they don't
losses.
get out of it because Whole Horse and Jagal are still after him, and Kakyoin shows up and is like, "Come on, Polnareff, we need to leave and regroup." Because Polnareff is crying. He's like, "Oh, that really bugs me that Abdul died. He got in my way and stuff." And he's about to leave, but then Jagal starts talking. He's like, "Polnareff, I killed your sister, and now I killed Abdul."
What are you gonna do about it, fucker?
Oh, did we even like touch on the fact that Jagal didn't like just kill his sister?
He did what something not nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did. He did a
Let's leave it
nasty.
at that. Yeah, a nasty thing that men do to women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did that, and now he's talking shit to Polnareff, and Polnareff, he just can't take it. He goes for it again, but Kakyoin saves him at the last minute by Emerald splashing him and then jumping in a truck and grabbing him and pulling him inside.
Still on the truck.
Yeah, and Whole Horse, since it's a truck, his bullet won't reach it in time. But he notices that Jagal left and to go after him.
Yep.
And so then Kakyoin is sitting in the truck. He's like, "Why'd you do that for?" And then Polnareff's like, I've learned my lesson. I should not have been stubborn. Abdul was right." And then Kakyoin just slams his elbow in Polnareff's face, saying, "Okay, you learned your lesson. That's cool, but that makes us even now. Because I just slammed my elbow into you."
I like this lesson of like not fighting when you know it's a losing battle. Like it, like not fighting because of like honor or revenge or rage when it's obviously a losing battle. It's very non-shonen and kind of smart.
Mm-hmm. They have to run and, change their scenery and
Yeah,
stuff. Change
yeah,
what's going on. It's cool.
yeah. So they start trying to work out what the stand is. Polnareff is convinced that it's some kind of like mirror world he's inside of, but Kakuin's just talking about like there's literally no such thing as a mirror world. It can't be that.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's also kind of like anti like shonen because like a lot of the time that kind of stuff is just like taken for granted. Like someone's just like, "Oh yeah, there's a mirror world," and it just there is. But here, like they're just kind of like thinking like, "No, it doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense."
Yeah, like stands. There's a lot of fantastical things in this, like stuff. There's vampires, there's magic breathing, there's stands, but like Kakuin's just straight up like that doesn't make any sense.
Like
There's no mirror world.
he's
Yeah.
like, "Dude,
Whenever what
just
there
because you have a
is
magical
no mirror.
ghost surrounding you doesn't mean that there's actually a mirror world." Come
Yeah.
on, dude.
It's a nice
down.
it's like a nice little logical way of like getting on the right track of what Hangman's true form is.
Yeah.
It is cool.
We originally find out that he's traveling through light.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just like at the base of the reflection.
Yeah, he's bouncing back and forth between reflections. They end up crashing the car, and
Yeah.
a kid comes over, and like, I think this might be like the biggest oh shit part of this whole exchange is the reveal of Hanged Man in the kid's eye.
Yo, that was
'cause the kid's just
insane.
going up like, "Hey, Mister, your car crashed. Are you okay?" And they're like, "Go away, kid, go away," because they see like he's in there.
Hey, Mister!
Yeah.
You're bleeding. You need some help.
You okay? Yep.
So
I'm
Polnareff
fine.
does.
Turn your head.
This is like a really like big it's a big moment cuz like it like completely turns like your world upside down like holy shit. He could actually like go into people's eyes and shit and like how are you supposed to beat that? And it's
A-
crazy.
A stand in the eye is no good.
Yeah.
So then Polnareff does the very common move of kicking sand in the kid's eye.
Yeah.
And they notice that the Hanged Man goes from the kid's eyes into Polnareff's eyes.
Yeah. He can
They
only
find
follow. He can only
He's just
follow
traveling
that.
through reflections.
Yeah, and he can only if you force the reflection to go away by like kicking sand in the eyes, it can only follow the path of like straight into the next one.
Yeah.
So Polnareff uses that to figure out like just where to strike, and he's able to do so.
Yeah, and basically just limit the options for where he can go so he can like control where he's going to go so he knows where he's going to be.
Yeah, exactly. And he's able to get a hit in, and they go and find what they think is Jay Guile, but it's not. Jay Guile just stabbed him to make him think it was him, and he throws a knife at Polnareff.
It's actually interesting because earlier when we were seeing Jay Guile, like we didn't like see like his face or anything, but he was wearing these clothes, so it's like, so like for us
like
as
a
the reader,
rockabilly outfit.
yeah,
Oh yeah,
for like us as the readers, like we think like even where like we think it's him too.
yeah, we're convinced, and it takes you got to see both hands, and then like you
Mhm.
realize it. If you may be able to pick up on it early if you notice like the hands, but like you're so caught off with like how he's wounded, and then like you see the clothes too, and you're just convinced, and it just kind of leaves your head.
Mhm. Fuck, I was gonna say something and then I completely forgot what it was.
Is it about how sexy Jay Guile is?
Um,
He's a nice bod.
I would say not.
No, he doesn't. He looks like in a world of rectangles, he is a square.
Yeah, but you get to see his butt in that one shot.
Do you?
Okay, but so Jay Gal actually reveals himself like a dumbass. Why not just stay behind the rubble? Come out.
Yeah.
No, he's Jojo villain, so he's stupid.
Like they
So
would.
he reveals himself.
I
Yeah,
guess
And he
like
does
maybe
make
he go ahead.
oh, but he does make a kind of smart decision of saying, "Hey, everyone, these guys have coins and they're handing them out to people." So he knows that since Polnareff and Kakyoin are okay people, they won't just attack innocent like bystanders, as all these beggars and stuff are like coming over, like, "Oh, you guys have such good hearts. You're so good. Thank you for your charitable donations to us of your gold coins."
And
And they like surround Polnareff and Kakyoin.
Hanged Man is like bouncing around between all their eyes, all crazy. It's cool.
He's slicing up Polnareff.
Just, but
First puppet.
Kakyoin figures out a way to fix this. He takes out a coin and flips it up in the air, and kicks sand and has Polnareff kick sand in the eyes Jay Giles are in, and thus making a clear path for him once again. And Polnareff's able to get him.
Yeah, because the only place Jay Gal could go is the coin, because they're all looking up at it.
Yep.
J-Guile
And it
got.
gets him. He gets him and it kills him.
Yep, he slices him, and then he chases after Jay Gal, and launches him in the air, and then he like gets his foot like caught in the gate, and then he like breaks his neck when he lands on it.
Yep.
Damn.
And he dies the hanged man.
He was
Yes.
he was murder-fied.
But that's not the end of it. We still got Whole Horse to deal with.
Yeah,
Not
Whole
Whole Horse.
shows up.
What are they gonna do about his gun?
Just tell him that they killed Jay Guile and he just bails.
Yeah, because
That-
he's making this huge deal, like, "Hey, Jay Gal, we got him!" Like, he's shooting windows and stuff, like, "Here, go get him! Or go get him!" And then Kakyoin's like, "Well, he's dead. He's over there." And then Whole Horse is like, "Is that so?" And then
Hey, I'm gonna go check.
"You can go check him." And he's like, "Okay, bye." And he runs
Yes.
away because Whole Horse can never be alone. He needs a partner. This town's big enough for the two of us.
He's so clingy. seeing Whole Horse be so cowardly now that he's on his own is really funny.
And then he gets stopped by Jotaro and Joseph, who have just finished burying Avdol. And they're about to take Whole Horse out, about to aura him, but then Nena comes in and stops him, like, "No, don't hurt him!" So then Whole Horse takes that opportunity to run away.
Grab a horse and run.
He gets the fuck out of there.
He sure does.
I like that this was kind of like foreshadowed in a roundabout fashion when he was talking to Jay Guile earlier, that like he's like, that girl's in love with me and now she'll do anything for me, even lay down her own life.
And she does.
Yeah, and she does.
Yeah, it's kind of nice, but they don't kill her, luckily, because
Yeah. They're nice. Yeah, and Joseph bandages the scratch he got and gets a little blood on himself, and it quickly grows into a gross little boil. And it's gross and creepy.
It's got like a mouth and it eats a fly.
It's a
Then we find out that
very strong lead into the next arc.
yeah, because you see the pimple eat the fly, and then you see the fly is in Nena's mouth.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of fun. Then you get a scene shift to Enya back at Dio's mansion throwing a fit.
She
feels what happened to Jay Guile.
Yeah, interesting bit of lore that other families can have this kind of like psychic connection. Probably has to do with either having stands or having the potential for stands.
Yeah, because it finds out that since he was her son, and she's like, "Oh, my little boy, he did nothing wrong," which we know is a big fat lie.
Yeah.
But
Enya,
funny.
Enya, your faves are problematic.
True, but there's a funny little what's it called, like an Easter egg kind of thing, and that is the cat that's in the scene with Enya. Because if you know anything about the actual Irish singer Enya, which you're gonna hear this a lot from me because I love Enya, like the singer, but I do like the character as well. But Enya lives in a castle by herself, full of cats.
Nice.
She's kind of a recluse because she made a bunch of music, but she didn't really want to get married or none of that. So she has a castle where she has like a few bits of staff like cooks and gardeners. But she mainly just lives with a bunch of cats just making music.
Good
So
for
you
her.
get that kind of thing with the cats just watching her have her meltdown. And she says, well, lucky for me, the Empress is the best, which you get another musical reference with Nena, who's based off the German singer, if you've heard the song 99 Red Balloons.
Oh yeah.
99 Red Balloons.
Something, 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 something.
Yeah, which there's two versions. There's the German version and the American version. So she made twice as much money, so good for Nena.
Yeah. Speaking of Nena, she's on the bus with the Crusaders to Varanasi. Even though it's probably like the beginning of his flirting, it's actually kind of sweet how Polnareff is trying to like pep talk Nena and give her advice about
Like,
like
don't deal with idiots, Nena. They're idiots.
yeah, don't deal with
Yeah.
stupid people. They're stupid. But like
Meanwhile, he is
I'm
stupid.
yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm thinking about like how he talked about like when you're in love, you can get like blinders on you that you can only see one thing. You shouldn't be doing that. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's like how he treats like Enya later, before he realized she's a stand user. How he's like treating her all sweetly and like jokingly flirting with her. It's cute. Polnareff's a nice dude when he wants to
Polnareff
be.
is luckily one of the only like anime playboys, so to say, who's actually genuinely nice to the girls that he interacts with.
Yeah, he's a nice little boy.
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
You know what's not good is the creepy growth on Joseph's arm.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
growing a face.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it looks like it has a face. So
Wow.
Joseph goes to the doctor.
In like single panel, like they're on the bus, and then the next panel is him at the doctor. Like, can we get a little bit more transition there?
Yeah.
And
But,
the doctor's gonna do a little minor surgery to cut it off, but the thing catches the scalpel in its teeth and kills the doctor with it straight up.
It sure does.
And we move into the first and one of the only Joseph fights in part 3.
True.
Uh,
Against the Empress.
Yeah. I was talking about the interviews in the Jojoniums. One of them talked about Joseph's role in the story, and like Araki pretty much designed him to be like mostly non-combatant. He's got the weak hermit purple as a stand, and more of the role as like the navigator and the leader and the guide and the wallet for the story. That way, like people don't think he's still the protagonist. It's supposed to be Jotaro as the protagonist. But like it's still nice that he gets to fight once or twice. And this is a pretty good one.
Yeah, he got a little growth on his arm, and the growth is slowly growing a body and beating the crap out of him.
Yeah, straight up. And it like literally it gets him like in trouble with the authorities.
Yeah, because it killed the doctor.
Yeah, and like the thing like pretends to be him and yells that like I did it, I'm the culprit, I'm Joseph Joestar. Also want to
Like
fuck nurse.
nurses, yeah.
Yeah. Having Joseph also be on the run from the police adds like an interesting layer to this fight, but I feel like it's not really fully taken advantage of. It kind of goes away after he first gets away from the cops.
Yeah.
Also, Empress apparently knows what Hamon is.
Sure, it does.
Yeah.
Thing.
We later find out that Empress is an older woman, so she probably does know about it to a degree, because, you know, I don't know, she probably knows a bunch about like stuff like that.
I don't know.
Maybe like was like a little information packet briefing Dio gave to all his henchmen. Like Joseph also has this thing called Hamon. You probably don't have to worry about it, but that's what that is. Yeah.
One thing that's weird is like
what?
Now it's called Hermit Overdrive. Is that like a new thing that?
No, that was a mistranslation. It's called he just says Hamon Overdrive in the official translation.
Okay. That's interesting. I was like okay.
Yeah,
What is
if you're waiting
this?
for Hermit Purple and Hamon to really like go into play together, you're gonna have to wait a little bit.
Eh, it'll be cool.
Sure.
It will be cool though.
But towards the end of the fight with Empress, we get actually it's tarot reference, which is again the reversed, which is creative block and dependence on others. Because
Oh
Joseph kind of
yeah,
scolds, because the whole fight she's kind of like, "Oh, what are you gonna do to your child? I'm a child. I want to grow up. I want to kill you. You know, you gotta let your child go." And then
I
Joseph
can't be
says, "Well,
tying you
that's the thing
down.
about children. Yeah, I hate to do it, but I
You're gonna
can't
have to
like
let
let you
him.
get tied down."
Yeah, you're gonna have to leave the nest, so to speak, which is kind of ironic because they're on this whole trip to save his daughter.
True, and he had kind of like a similar conversation when she was hugging him at the beginning, like, "Hey, Holly, let go. You're a grown woman. You gotta stop this." And she's like, "I don't wanna."
Yeah, but then he just starts like pampering her when she's sick.
True, but
Yeah.
then you get the
It's,
reverse, which is
oh
against Nena
well,
now, where
yeah, yeah. Oh well, ignore that stuff. He says the thing. He says the thing. He does the thing and says the thing.
her next line is, whatever her next line is, I forget.
Whatever it was.
Yamaro.
Don't do this.
It was. Oh my god! It was so good though when
Yeah,
when he did the
Was.
thing.
And then you
that
get
is.
the anime line of, "Like a fine wine, I just get better with age."
Yeah, I love that.
I love that too.
This is after he was able to pull off his gambit to defeat Empress. When he crashed earlier into a bunch of incense stuff, he used Hermit Purple to make it into a map of the city with an X for what he was looking for, which is coal tar. Empress assumed he was trying to drown her in it, but in actuality, he was trying to solidify her. And with that, he's able to use Hermit Purple in like a little bit of leverage to rip Empress apart.
True.
And that's a pretty cool end to this battle.
Because yeah, then Nena's body just explodes and you see her true form inside
Fake
and
Nana.
then like throws out, yeah.
Yeah, this whole time she's been like flirting with Polnareff to keep him from running into Joseph,
Mhm.
and like Polnareff this whole time is like, is this love? Is this what love feels like? And then she like the real body just kind of bursts out of fake Nana's stomach, and Joseph's like, oh, that's probably her real body. She was the stand user, by the way, and Polnareff's like, oh,
Yeah. Poor Paul.
poor Pole,
Now they have to
unlucky
get
in
out
love.
of now they
After
gotta get out of there because Joseph's wanted.
yeah, yeah, he's a straight up wanted man. I I remember Ash was so like hung up on this like after this whole journey is over, there's gonna be people like asking him like, why are you wanted for murder in India?
Yeah. Pretty much.
Why were you hanging out with this guy who's also wanted for murder in Singapore?
I don't know.
No
Yeah.
reason. We don't need to know.
Stuff.
Come on, sir. That's my Joseph voice. Did you like it?
What the fuck?
As if they can stop Joseph now. He's too powerful. Please
Yeah.
stop playing for my grandpa. He escaped the police and now they can't catch him.
He's too strong.
Too strong.
He has the power of God and anime on his side.
He has the power of 10 grandpas. Yeah. So yeah, we move into our next arc, Wheel of Fortune.
A guilty pleasure.
I'm okay with. It's not one of my favorites, but it's still enjoyable.
It's
Well,
interesting.
actually, because like the way I see it, like living car movies are the opposite of blob movies for me. Like where blob movies freak me out, I will like go full on nuts for a living car movie if the car is enjoyable enough to watch. And this
Nice.
one's based off two movies of Steven Spielberg's Duel, where you get the guy with the big arms driving, versus Stephen King's and John Carpenter's Christine, where the car's like image looks like from.
Right. I remember seeing the
Actually has the
poster.
car alive.
Yeah, the poster and like some of the drawings of Wheel of Fortune look very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Anne shows back up. I guess they just didn't want her around for the too serious Emperor and Hanged Man, so they just
Yeah, that
put her on the
was it
back
was kind of
burner.
weird. She just
And
like
yeah,
disappeared.
and now she's reappeared, only to disappear again.
Hmm.
But yeah, she's back around for this arc. She's talking.
And she has taken some notes from the orangutan and has stolen porno pics.
Yeah, trying to like bribe them with it.
Hey, look, let me see. I'll give you porn.
Hey,
Like,
Why
orangutans
do
like
you-
porn, so
Why do you have this? Seriously. I like how she tries to like I don't know, talk about how mature she is, and she like talks about like I'm gonna have to start wearing a bra soon, and like there's a little caption that says no one cares, and you can really see it on their faces.
yeah,
Yeah, honestly, like Polnar's just driving the car, like,
she's
yeah,
great.
okay, that's you.
And somebody throw her out the back. Yeah. And yeah, they come across an asshole in a car that's messing with them, and they start thinking it could be a stand user. They almost get hit by a semi truck, but Star Platinum stops it, looking very
His face-
bored, as you pointed
Yeah, his
out.
face is so bored. Yeah.
He's just like, I do this every
Aura.
day.
Yeah. Or yeah, I said the thing. Bye.
I say the funny catchphrase, Aura. Okay.
So then, the car gets away from them, and they end up at like a bar. And I remember telling Mike when I first watched this, I said, "Wouldn't it be amazing if the car is just sitting at the bar getting a drink, like the car itself?"
I remember that.
And then it just like turns around like, huh?
Oh shit,
That would be great.
they're here.
Oh, no, it's not me. Puts on a giant fake mustache on the front bumper.
Yeah, like a Lightning McQueen thing.
Yeah.
I could totally see that
I'm not the
happening.
car.
Yeah.
Like ZZ on his hands has like a little like what's it called? Like the little mustache on his like fingers.
Yeah. Wrong
no
guy.
Inglés. Yeah.
And then like the
But
only
in-
person that knows is like Anne, and that notices is Anne, and then she's like telling everyone like, "Holy shit, that car was just drinking at the bar," and everyone's like, and then again it says no one cares.
Is
But,
this
like, what are you talking about? You can't just say everyone's an evil car, Anne.
This is just like with the orangutan. It wasn't real.
Orangutans
Definitely.
don't exist.
Yeah.
Never happened.
Something about this scene I like is that I like how that the guys at the rest stop are like given actually like the anime looking designs to make it seem like one of them actually could be the stand user. Especially that
Yeah.
one guy with like the like really long bangs. Looks like Yang from Street Fighter. Or maybe
Does,
Yoon.
yeah.
Yeah, which one is which? But yeah, that there's actually like some effort put in to make it seem like one of them could be the stand user. A concept that's used a couple times, most notably in Part 6 in Foo Fighters, which I really like that one too.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they try to figure out who at the rest stop is the guy driving the car when they notice the car is there, only to notice after Joseph gets a little half a page explanation about sugarcane juice, because I guess Rocky drank some of that.
Just absolutely need to know about that for the car.
It's important to the plot, yeah.
But while he's wasting time doing that, the car drives away. And they
Well,
just realize it wasn't any
well-
of these guys.
Well, before that, the car is there and they can't figure out who it is. So Jotaro's just like, okay, then we'll do it. We'll do it this way. We got beat the shit out of all of them, and everybody except Kakyoin is just gung ho about it. I don't think they're supposed to be smiling, but all of their faces on the panel where they're beating the shit out of everybody looks like they're smiling. Like they just woke up today waiting for the opportunity to choose violence.
Pretty much.
And Kakyoin's the only one that's like, maybe not that. And yeah, while they're wasting time there, the car drives off.
Yep. And then it goes and changes the sign. So there's the road to Pakistan or
That
the
trope.
In a very
cliff.
Looney Tunes move, honestly. changing the
Yeah.
sign.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. I'm glad they remembered strength when they later realized that the car is a stand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they follow it and they end up at a cliff, and the
Yeah.
car is about to bump them off.
Yeah.
It's funny when Polnareff tells them to get out, and Kakyoin's like, "Wait, you can't get out yet. You have to keep your foot on the brake." But he already took it off, so he's just like, "Oh,
Oh
sorry,
no, my bad.
might be."
They start to fall off the cliff,
Yeah.
which then we get the scene that bore so much fan fiction.
Oh yeah.
What is the ship name for Jotaro Kakyoin?
I don't know. Jodakak,
I don't know.
Kaktaro.
Who knows?
One of them. But they finally
But
like have an actual human interaction.
yeah, probably one of their only ones in the series.
Yeah. You like sumo?
Like sumo. Oh, that's the one where you to grab your opponent, but you're not allowed to,
Can't
your
punch
feet.
him.
Yeah. And they get back on the cliff, but they throw the evil car inside the chasm below, where it blows up.
But it like digs its way up back to them.
Yeah, after it goes on the radio and you get the stand user talking, and he's like, I was able to do that because it was my stand, Joestar.
Yeah, it gets back up there and it transforms its look. It looks really cool after its transformation, I think.
It's like a big bug.
Yeah.
Scary bug.
I dig it. I dig it. And it shoots gasoline at them. That's its projectile. That's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, it's an interesting way of doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Shoots them with the gas.
Liquid gas, yes.
So yeah, and so then they decide, okay, well, there's nothing we can really do about it right now, so let's run while the car is chasing them. And the user's
Secret
like,
technique!
well, I'll run you off this cliff and I'll splatter you into mincemeat. And so Anne falls down, like the dumbass she is, and she's like, I was lying this whole time. I mean, you probably already knew that, but yeah, my dad's not actually somewhere. I ran away.
Yeah, she just throws herself a little pity party, and Jotaro just picks it up. Like, you could have started running at any time.
Honestly, like the car is still trying to get over.
But she's too, like, distracted by squeeing over Jotaro to really take in what he says, I guess. And they make it up. They make it up the cliff, and Jotaro tries to face down the car, but it turns out that the gasoline wasn't just a projectile to hurt them. He also meant to light them on fire, which he does, and Jotaro starts burning up.
Disco Inferno style.
Yes, and we get the only fourth wall break in the series ever, where ZZ says, "I win. Part 3 is over," and Jotaro's like, "Who would take over as protagonist?"
But a fun thing about that
What?
is that in the dub, the guy
Yeah,
who plays ZZ, David Vincent, is also the narrator.
They also kind of they don't cut it, but they kind of make it like not
Change
an
the
actual.
line.
Yeah, he says like, "Your little journey is over," and Jotaro says like, "Then who would take over? Then who would I forget what he says." And he,
Like, who would take my place, you roadhog? You'd probably think it was you.
yeah, he says Roadhog because it's a reference to McCree from Overwatch, I think.
Probably.
He makes another McCree reference in the final battle.
Oh, but speaking of references, ZZ is named after ZZ Tops, who's known for like having cars in his music video or their music videos.
And on the album, one of the album colors for ZZ Top's albums looks like the Christine car on Wheel of Fortune by association.
True.
Yeah, so they beat up ZZ and they find out that he's just a weird looking guy.
He's a walking penis joke.
Yes.
Yes.
Man, Eliminator. That's the name of the album that has the car on it.
Oh, okay.
Man, this part where Jojo just like he like dug a hole underground or something like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
Oh my
he
god.
he dug a yeah. You're not digging all the plot armor, are you?
He
Yeah.
like in like an instant, like he dug a hole underground and like
Left his jacket.
left his jacket there, and it's like what?
Yeah.
I
Just
don't
accept it.
I can't.
He are the hero guy.
Bro guy.
I don't know how this happens.
He, he needed the win, and we got to see
He did.
Jotaro in a tank top. So it's a win
Yeah.
for us too.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot what it was.
Was it about how Jotaro looks? His face looks so much like Jonathan's when he's smiling while everybody else is laughing. He just looks so pure. Look at that face.
Oh no, it's actually a lot of people don't actually understand what Wheel of Fortune does. They just think it's like strength and it powers up the car, which is true, but it's a link to ZZ's own confidence. So the more
Ah,
confident ZZ gets, the like more dangerous the car gets.
that's
And
why.
I think you could do the same with like a bike, like any motor vehicle. He just got that really stupid looking car. The thing they get.
Oh.
That's why when
And the
they're
more
making fun of him
confident
for
he
strength.
gets, yeah, and so with when they're making fun of him, like, haha, you look at you look at those big arms, but you got like such a horrible little wimpy body, and he's like, oh,
You're a
don't
ho-
laugh at me, you guys,
yeah, you're a horrible misshapen freak.
and
That
and the car
reminds
just like turns back into like this really old, broken down one.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That reminds me of
Yeah.
like the thing where they say like people with really like crazy like big cars or whatever have like tiny dicks because they're like compensating and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what this whole
Interesting.
arc is a joke about, because he's got
Yeah.
these big, boulder arms, and in the end, he looks like a penis, because like his whole pose, he gets knocked out of his car.
Mm.
Like, you know, how his legs are positioned, he's like, oh, don't hurt me.
Right.
And it's kind of like why he has such big arms, like you were saying, like, I wonder what this guy's hobby is, you know. He's probably, like,
Yeah.
doing it constantly as ambidextrous.
Yeah.
Using both hands.
Yeah, so they chain up ZZ, which is it seems random in the anime, but in the manga, at the start of the Empress arc, they see people doing this kind of shit on the bus ride to Varanashi as like setup for
Yeah.
this joke, and I guess they just leave him to die of sun or something.
Dysentery,
Fun.
maybe.
Yeah, a little bit.
And he
Uh,
starves. Yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's Wheel of Fortune, and now we move into the last arc we'll cover this episode,
Man.
which is Justice.
Man,
What's
that
this?
reminds me. When are we
What's
gonna
that?
get to the arc where Jojo gets dysentery and dies?
I'm trying to think if something like that ever happened in the story, because I would not put it past the story.
Oh.
No. You get
Well, I
kinda
don't think
close
he
with this
dies,
one,
but
'cause- Oh, you mean just anywhere he gets like stomach issues?
Uh,
That would be the Oingo Boingo brother arc.
oh yeah,
Yeah. The plot that revolves around Jotaro having to take a shit.
that reminds
Oh,
me
yes.
of the gag in Black Clover where Asta has to take a shit. And like and that's when Seke goes to try to like assassinate him or whatever the fuck.
oh yeah. He tries to cripple him,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he leaves,
Not
and he's.
cool, Seke.
What are you talking about? Seke's the Chad among Chad.
He really is. He's the King's bitch.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
So
So,
anyway, so they run
cut
into
back
this
to-
like foggy
cut-
place.
well, first we cut back to Enya saying she'll be taking on the Joestars now, and in the Jojonium, Araki talks about in the interview how like similar to like how Lisa was like kind of breaking new grounds because there weren't a lot of women mentors for shonen guys. In shonen, there's a lot of women enemies, especially old women. But he really thought like it was easy to do horror with little old ladies because like they can look so creepy, and like you could have them move so fast even though they're so tiny.
And they're so
And, like-
unsuspecting and
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Right.
what I was like saying earlier with Enya being like, you know, kind of like the universal horror stigma of which is kind of still continuing today of like an old woman who knows exactly what the scary thing is. Because you
Hmm.
got it in the Lon Chaney Wolfman. You get one who tells Lon Chaney that he's going to become a wolf is an old Romanian woman, who's living out in the woods, whose son had the curse.
Mm.
And so then with this, it like continues, like even like modern day horror films. If there's like a ghost film by any like Bloomhouse film, there's always a old woman who probably doesn't speak English all that well, unless she needs to exposize about what the ghost is. And this is kind
Yeah.
of like a reference to that. But then once Justice really gets going, I'll have another horror reference for y'all because I really think it's creative. But yeah.
Right. So yeah, they show up in a little village, little foggy little town full of fog. They drive up, and everybody's giving them the cold shoulder. Iraqi teaches us how to say hello in Muslim countries. And then we see that a guy has become, as Polnareff says, cheese like in Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
That actually caught me off guard for a minute because I had to look up if Tom and Jerry had been a thing at that time, and it was. It was like from like the 1940s or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tom and Jerry's is really old.
Yeah, I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about it.
Iraqi's a prophet. He predicted Tom and Jerry.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Yeah, so they find a weird guy full of holes. And they know... was this the same guy as the Traveler, or...
This is the Traveler.
Yeah, it was. Right. They realize that like he has a gun that's recently been fired, so they figured like he was just recently murdered, and he's like had this face all horrified, but like nobody seems all that sus about it.
Yeah, they're just like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's just like
whatever.
normal every day.
There's a woman with boils, and she's talking about how itchy they are, and it's gross, and it made me nauseous.
Yeah, a little
and I
bitty
hate that,
baby.
hate that stuff. Ugh.
Yeah, that wasn't really necessary.
Don't like acne.
It's it's at least like it adds to the very, very unnerving nature of the story, right? This arc right off the bat. This is so off-putting, and it's great, honestly.
And I like that it's completely like broken down when Enya herself shows up as like, "Hi boys, come to my hotel. I'll give you a good price." And they're like, "Oh gee, a normal person."
Yeah.
And then
We forgot
about it.
Yeah. Oh, we forgot to mention Anne left. Anne leaves the store.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, where did she go?
They just
Got on
said
the
we're
plane.
we're sending you back to
Oh, yeah.
Hong Kong, where they found her,
Right.
or maybe Singapore. I don't know.
Yeah, they
It
just
is-
kind of like wait, but
They just say they say they're gonna do it, and then she's gone.
yeah, there's a lot of weird like time stuff.
In the anime, at least, they gave her an actual goodbye scene, along with actually seeing like Jotaro at the tailor getting his new 100% sheet wool jacket.
Yeah, it's really weird because like she's like, "Oh man, I wish I could have seen Jotaro again." And then like she looks at the window, he's like walking coolly beside the plane, like, "Jotaro, calm down.
Yeah,
Say goodbye to her like a normal person."
he can't.
No, he's not a normal
He's a little emotionally constipated little boy.
He's detached from reality.
Snap back to reality.
No, I knew it. I
There
knew you were
goes
gonna do
gravity.
it.
Yeah. So yeah, they're staying at the hotel, Enya's fake hotel. As I said before, it's kind of cute how Polnareff is being so nice to Enya.
He's a
And
good
even
boy.
if it's just for the joke that this is just killing Enya inside, she's like, "No, fuck you, go fucking hell."
You
Yeah.
actually get this like dialogue, like I said again, about like the actual Irish singer Enya of, "Why, you just live here by yourself? Are there no children or a husband?" Like, no, the actual Enya doesn't want that.
Jotaro starts getting sus because she calls Joseph Mr. Joestar, even though nobody had said it yet.
Oh shit.
And we get our first real like returning appearance villain in Whole Horse.
Whole Horse all of a sudden now has the wheel things on the back of his boots because he's a fucking
Spurs.
the Spurs, yeah.
Spurs.
Because he's a cowboy.
He's a
Yeah,
cowboy.
cowboy.
He didn't have
Yeah.
those
Wanna be
before.
a cowboy, baby.
Hell yeah!
Yeah,
Did he
yeah,
not have?
cowboy, baby.
Did he not have Spurs
He
and the
didn't, cause
Emperor and Hangman?
when we were talking about it earlier, I was like looking through and I was looking for them and I couldn't find them. He didn't have them before.
I thought he
Huh?
has them in the anime because you hear them when he steps down.
Yeah, they probably added them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
Curious.
The groundwork for like a possible future good guy turn is pretty clear here, as he's
Yeah.
like pitted up as a common against a common enemy. And he's
Yeah.
even in a good color spread. Even if that doesn't how it works out, he's still also a pretty good guinea pig to show us the ability of justice more clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's kind of why I like legitimately thought he was going to be a good guy.
Right. Well, he killed Avdol.
He
Kind of
did.
a dick
Yeah.
thing. Kind of a dick move, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I'd say
I don't
yeah.
think you can just accept that.
Hmm.
But you do get the first like old horse is saying, "Oh, Enyaba, I'll go kill the Joestars," and she's like, "Well, I'm so glad to see you're safe, even though my son died. Were you his best friend? Tell me, whole horse." And whole horse,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
"Oh yeah, he's my best friend. I loved him like my brother. I'm gonna go and kill them to avenge my best bro." And then she stabs him in the arm with a pair of scissors.
Yeah. Having
She's
such a
all doing her.
having such a realistic way of doing damage helps up the dangerous vibes for Menya, really.
Yeah, because she's
Like,
like
it's-
stabbing him in the arm and like screaming out like, "Judas, you killed my son. You're just as bad as him. You abandoned him."
Yeah, pretty. Like, so far it's just been, oh, it's a melty blob monster. Oh, this is it's an evil car. But this is just like, oh, she stabbed him straight up with a pair of scissors.
It's good.
And then we get our first like good look at Justice when he or the stand itself like takes over Whole Horse's arm and does like the thing where his blood evaporates and then it turns into a hole. And then it's like trying to like choke on his own hand.
Oh yeah, and he accidentally shoots himself because he's horse.
Yeah, yeah. Which ties back to, like I was saying, there's another horror reference with Justice aside from Enya herself, and that is Justice itself. You know, it's like zombies. A
Right.
specific zombie movie like ties in with it called Return of the Living Dead, which is kind of like a horror comedy. But the thing about it is the zombies, they don't like die like your normal way. Like even if you like shoot them in the head, the body's still moving around. So at
Mhm.
one point in the movie, the main characters, they burn the zombie corpses, but the ashes, like they go into a nearby cemetery, and all those zombies are starting to come to life, like all the dead corpses. So I'm kind of like, oh, that came out like 2 years before. That's a really neat reference to that, like having the smoke or the dust or the fog control the zombies.
Huh.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Justice, like when you see like the skull thing, it's really well drawn, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if you notice, Enya has two right hands like her son. In the manga, Justice has normal hands, but in the anime, it also has two right hands.
Nice little detail.
Yeah. Neat little
Tamed
thing.
Man also had the two right hands.
Yeah. Because, stands a reflection of the person.
True, true.
Yeah. So, yeah, Polnareff shows up.
Yeah, right while Enya's trying to hide Whole Horse's body.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like just sitting underneath an armchair while Polnareff is doing his whole, "Oh, you live alone? Why don't you call me your son for the night?" And then you can just tell it's like killing her. She's like, "I want to kill this guy so bad.
Yeah.
You're so dumb, Polnareff."
Well, she's not wrong.
Bro.
And, yeah,
And
the fight starts pretty much.
yeah, because Whole Horse is like, "Polnareff, watch out!" And then she like takes out her scissors and starts like trying to get him, but if I recall correctly, she fights Silver Chariot with the scissors for a bit.
Yeah, she does.
But I think it's more of her blocking though, because like you said, you can't attack a stand with just scissors.
Yeah.
That
Oh,
goes
man.
on, but then
The
you get-
zombies are summoned.
yeah, they break through the wall and start chasing after him. And you get really creepy shots of her chasing after him too, and then he hides in the bathroom.
Yeah, this is all very creepy stuff.
True.
He's, and he ends up getting stabbed and controlled by his tongue.
Yeah.
Dang.
And she
Yeah.
makes him lick the fucking toilet
She
and lick the
does.
shit off of the toilet. Oh
I
my
know, it's
god.
horrible.
This
Ugh.
killed me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but luckily it's not too much because then Jotaro shows up like he does.
Yeah, we cut away to Jotaro, and he's I like the little character bit where he talks about watching Columbo as a kid.
What's that?
Hmm?
Columbo.
Yeah. Oh, it's a show.
What's it about?
It's like a detective show. It's about
okay.
that's why he's mentioning it. He's like, maybe it's because I watched Columbo as a kid, but like when little details stick out to me, it bugs me.
Oh
'Cause
yeah, that's right.
That makes
Talking
sense.
about like when she called Joseph Mr. Joestar, even though it didn't. Nobody said it, which is why he said like, I asked people not to. She calls him Jotaro, and he's like, nobody ever said my name. And when she tries to fall back on like, oh, you wrote Jotaro in the guest book, he reveals that he wrote Kyutaro.
Yeah, and you get Temi Kakuin.
Yeah, that's also brought up in the JoJo Jojonium interviews. Araki you're meant to read Noriaki as Tenmei.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
For some
in
reason, I just
Japanese.
didn't.
Yeah. Yeah, so he
Can read things
he
weird.
wrote it in
Yeah.
English and it came out weird. Yeah.
So,
No, it's like he meant for people to pronounce it as Tenmei, but people read the
Oh. I see what you
kanji as Noriaki. But similar to what you were saying, Joseph in the guest book is spelled with an F, not a PH.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's funny. And yet, so yeah, Jotaro reveals that she's the stand user, and she tries to attack him with the zombos.
And she gets close because the little baby zombie sticks its tongue through his leg.
Yeah, gets
And,
close.
yeah, and so whole horse and Polnareff on the ground like, oh, we can't defeat this. And Enya's like, of course you can. You can't defeat the fog. You can't punch it. You can't stab it. You can't shoot it with a gun. It's invincible. Justice always prevails.
But
She didn't expect the suck.
wait, did you say the tarot meaning for justice?
Oh, not yet. Let me see.
Tell me these things.
Let me look it up. Oh, I also didn't do Wheel of Fortune.
Tell
The
us.
Wheel of Fortune, the reverse is bad luck, resistance to change, and breaking cycles.
Makes sense.
Yeah, because even like Jotaro scolds him for that. He's like, "Oh, you don't want change. You gotta change things yourself. You can't just wait for it."
You gotta forge your own path.
Exactly. So Enya is the reverse justice with unfairness, lack of accountability, and dishonesty. So the whole thing of her basically lying this whole arc, and then also being kind of a hypocrite by telling Whole Horse and Polnareff to own up to doing bad things to Jay Gao, even though Jay Gao did like horrible things himself.
Yeah, pretending that Jay Guile was this just sweet little boy, couldn't do no wrong.
And he did acts against humanity.
Yes. But yeah, as you were saying, we get our defeat of Anya by Star Platinum doing the sucks up the fog.
The power of
Yep.
suck.
And Enya like passes out because she runs out of oxygen.
Somehow.
Her stand gets inhaled.
Yeah. In defeating Justice by just inhaling is both clever and dumb and kind of an asshole. Like, how did this actually hurt Enya? Like, and why specifically making her suffocate?
Because Justice was in Star Platinum's throat, it can't breathe.
Yeah, so it couldn't breathe, so she couldn't breathe.
Then how does that?
It is a hack, yeah.
But that just makes me think about the next arc, which I won't spoil for Dylan. But like, and I don't know. We all agree it's kind of hacks.
It's a little weird.
It
Yeah.
is, yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the end of Empress
They
arc.
made Enya too OP, so they needed to take her down a notch.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 OP must
Basically.
nerf.
They
wrap
were
up-
like, okay, wrap it up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
The
so-
wrap up to the arc comes in the next chapter, which is Lovers Part 1.
Which we didn't read.
Yeah, well, but we'll get to.
Yeah.
We will get to it.
And so, wrapping up that arc is wrapping up this episode, basically.
That's right.
Do we have any final thoughts about this section?
Oh, yeah, one last thing about Enya. So it's weird because her localized name, they didn't want to actually use Enya's name, so they call her Enyaba,
Right.
which
That
is
also
her official
works.
title in Japanese, which is Enya the Enya the Hag. So
Mhm.
basically, and since if you know ba is like it's a way of calling a woman old, so they say ba-san, oba-san. So
Right.
basically, the name in the dub is still Enya the Hag. They just named it weird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
that was fun facts from me. Shower thoughts.
I love your fun facts.
Thank you. I appreciate. I thought you were getting annoyed with me.
Nah,
The
Okay.
facts are cool.
Thank you.
true facts.
Yeah. Alright.
Yeah. So that's this, and we will come back next time with chapters 47 through 103, which is The Lovers through Darby the Gambler.
Cool.
That's farther
the-
than I thought.
Do we
Yeah,
know the anime episodes?
I'm looking it up now. It would be episode
16?
6
Probably through the rest of the first season, right? And then part of
No,
the
it's
second
like-
Past that. Yeah.
I think it's like no, here it is. Episodes.
You know, I mean, like
It-
it would be everything left in the first season, and then a certain amount
Yes.
in the second season. That's what I'm saying.
That's correct. It would be episodes 15 through 35.
Ah,
They really extended some of the later pre-Egypt fights and also a lot of the Egypt fights
mhm.
because like I think once they get to Egypt, those arcs are like kind of like only like 1/3 of the or a little bit more than 1/3 of the overall Stardust Crusaders, but they take up half of the total episode count of the anime, so they really kind of like
Mhm.
extended them somewhat.
Yeah, they really stretched them out.
Yeah, that's how far we'll be going for next time.
All right.
Cool.
All
Sounds like a
right,
plan.
All right.
Sounds like a plan.
Really fun. Cool.
Thank you
glad
for watching.
glad you could come, as Ezra.
What?
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
I thought
Well, so
I
yeah,
thought you said something else, but okay.
I'm
I'm not gonna say it. It's
Alright.
not okay.
Wink,
Okay.
wink.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So
Uh-huh.
we'll see you and all of you listening next time.
Yay.
Yay.